Chapter 661, Creating a Planet. Forest of Creation. Mission completed. Good job, Flamey number 220. Then I'll take a rest now. After reporting to her main body, the avatar Flamey number 220's body crumbled into powder, and her consciousness rejoined the main body. Only one left now. Flamey spoke in a voice mixed with dislike and fondness. Flamey, who was undergoing the fourth trial of the Tree of Creation. Only one barren land remained, and she would pass the trial if she turned it into land overflowing with life. And just a moment ago, Flamey number 225 had discovered the last remaining barren land, Ariel. Her heart felt complicated. If she passed the trial, her power would grow stronger, making it harder to meet Sejun. However, if she didn't grow stronger, she wouldn't be able to protect Sejun from powerful enemies. It was a contradictory situation. But now was a time when she needed more strength to protect Sejun. Though the world seemed peaceful on the surface, it was stained red far more than it appeared, and very deeply so. Beings that only observed a few dozen worlds couldn't know, but Flamey, who had taken root in millions of worlds, could sense it. A great danger was approaching. At that time, I will need the strength to protect Sejunum. As if making a vow, Flamey began the task of transforming the final barren land, Ariel, into a land filled with life. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Having defeated the calamities of Ticha, Sejun arrived at the waypoint on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Aileen, I'm back. Tower's administrator says you worked hard. The tower's administrator asks if you've had dinner. No, I'm about to eat now. While Sejun chatted with Aileen. Clank. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I missed you, meow. Kyung. Kaying. As the void storage opened, Theo, Kyungi, and the Blackie family rushed out and clung to Sejun. However, plop. Sejun only set Blackie down on the ground. Kaying. Let go of me, Great Blackie doesn't want to walk. Blackie struggled, refusing to be put down, but Blackie, you're walking. You need to move if you want to lose weight. Sejun was firm. Kaying. Great Blackie isn't fat, though. Grumbling, Blackie trudged behind him as Sejun headed to the kitchen. Sejun number 12, tonkatsu, please. He asked Sejun number 12 to prepare his meal and grilled fish for Theo. As for the stir-fried peanuts Yona eats, he had already prepared a large batch and stored it in Yona's void pocket. About 1 ton or so. It seemed he wouldn't have to stir-fry peanuts for at least 6 months. Once dinner was ready. All right, Blackie, since you moved a lot today, 2 pieces of roasted and dried sweet potato. Kivihit. Sejun prepared Blackie's meal and started eating dinner. As they were nearing the end of their meal. Kyung. It's Mom. Kyungi, who had his face buried in his rice bowl eating eagerly, suddenly turned his head and looked in one direction. And then, thump. Kyung. Sejunum, thank you for your hard work. Soon, heavy footsteps echoed as Pinkfur appeared. On her way back from training, she came to take Kyungi home. Kyungi quickly finished the remaining food and clung to Pinkfur, chest like a koala. Kyung. Dad, good night. All right, sleep well, Kyungi. Waving his front paw at Sejun, Kyungi left with Pinkfur. Once Kyungi and Pinkfur were gone, Sejun and the others finished their dinner and headed to the bedroom. And then, Kura, Gorarong, Kurarong, Kekirarong. Soon the bedroom was filled with the sound of snoring. Our guys are kind of. Of course, they weren't actually asleep. Sejun and his group were offering their apologies. Meanwhile, the night grew deeper. Pip, everyone have a good night. Peacebees woke up and began his activities. Chomp. After filling up on fruits prepared by Sejun. Whoosh. Peacebees began searching for the rest of the worlds where treasures were hidden. However, luck wasn't on his side that night, and he wasn't able to find the world he wanted, Morning came once again. All right. Sejun got up energetically. Though his mind had been working nonstop, his body had rested, so he felt no fatigue. In truth, it wasn't just his body, thanks to Sejun's high mental strength. His physical body was now so strong that even after not sleeping for 10 days, it wouldn't feel tired, and his mental strength had surpassed 30,000, meaning he could stay awake for days without issue. Sleep had become more of a habit, he didn't really need it. Of course, Sejun wasn't fully aware of his current state. But sleep is still the best medicine, even knowing it wouldn't change anything. Maintaining a sharp mind and body, Sejun got up. Meow. Kaying. After checking in on the Theo couple and the Blackie family. Clank. He opened the void storage to check on the Calamity farms. Let's start with the locusts. Creak. When Sejun opened the door to the locust farm. Flap flap. He saw so many locusts that barely any space was visible. And then, white. Sejun was startled. White locust. All the locusts had turned white. The key trait of locusts is that the more numerous they are, the stronger they evolve. And with an uninterrupted supply of food, their numbers quickly increased and they evolved into their final form, white locusts. Haha, that means they've become even more delicious in an even tastier state. To Sejun, this was fantastic news. Creak. Next, Sejun checked the giant blood-sucking leech farm. There, the leeches had cannibalized each other and evolved into their final forms. True blood leech. About the same height as Sejun and red in color. Though their size had decreased, he had no doubt they'd be delicious. Creak. Then, full of anticipation, Sejun checked the petrifying spider farm. Blue petrifying spider. Some had evolved, showing blue torsos here and there. Petrifying ray spider. Oh. Their torsos were blue and their legs green, the final evolution. Judging from the name, they could now petrify with eye beams rather than biting. Creak. There were no noticeable changes in the fire moth farm. Then, Sejun opened the final door to the slime farm. Besides the original brown color, there were dark brown and black-brown slimes, and gold slime. 5 golden slimes that had reached final evolution caught his eye. What should I eat for breakfast today? Sejun fell into a happy dilemma. After a moment of thought, all right, let's go light with chicken for breakfast. He decided to eat locust meat. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, why is chicken light for breakfast, meow? Theo asked, puzzled by Sejun's decision. Haha, that's because chickens have wings so they're light. Meow, what kind of nonsense is that, meow? Should I fix Chairman Park's head? Theo looked at Sejun, concerned by his incomprehensible logic. To be honest, I just felt like eating chicken. Pew Hut, I understand, meow. Good. After clearing that up with Theo. You have defeated the first calamity of destruction, White Locust. You have gained 100 million experience points. Due to the effect of title, owner of the Calamity Farm, you have gained an additional 100 million experience points. Sejun opened the Locust Farm and caught 100 locusts. Then, Sejun number 12, make dakijang with these. He asked Sejun number 12 to cook, and while he was at it, he duplicated the seaweed soup and choco pies that Sejun number 12 had prepared in advance. Oh, and Yangari chicken too. Sejun didn't forget about Ace. Ace's favorability towards Sejun was already at its highest, but he didn't slack off in scoring points. Of course, he was also diligently looking after Kaiser, Anton, and Elizabeth. Then, Mother, Father, hello, have you eaten? Yes, has our Aileen eaten too? Yes. That was the same for Aileen. Aileen was scoring points with Sejun's family every day using the bronze mirror of longing. But Mother, is it okay not to talk to Sejun? Yes, Sejun will do fine on his own. I prefer talking with our Aileen. Me too. Park Chun-ho, Sejun's father, who had been quietly listening to Aileen's question, softly chimed in. Aileen was more popular with Sejun's family than Sejun himself. A little while later. Aileen here. Sejun sent the seaweed soup and choco pies to Aileen. Thump thump. Pink Fur here. Then, as Pink Fur appeared holding Kyungi in her mouth, Sejun handed her some choco pies and sat down to eat breakfast with the group. Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, this dakgijang is delicious. Kyungi, excited from eating dakgijang made with white locust meat. Hugh, so good. Sejun also took a sip of the dakgijang broth and admired it. However, it would have been perfect with bracken. A wave of disappointment quickly followed. Should I ask Theo to get some bracken seeds from Helnum? No, I'm already asking for a lot, so I can't burden them more. If Hel had known, she would have gotten it right away. It was a missed opportunity to earn some welfare points for Hel. Come to think of it, tomorrow is the day the seed shop opens. For now, let's look forward to tomorrow. After finishing the slightly lacking but still tasty dakgijang. Slurp. Sejun washed it down with coffee brewed by Kyungi. Just then, Pew Hut, Chairman Park, give me money, meow. I need money to open a new floor, meow. As he was getting ready to go to work, Theo demanded money. 30 days had passed, and 1 trillion tower coins were needed to open a new floor. Here, since there was more than 10,000 quadrillion coins in the void storage, Sejun handed over the 1 trillion tower coins to Theo without hesitation. Pew Hut, thanks, meow. Theo took the money from Sejun and stored it in his bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers. Yona, wait for me, meow. Kyung, okay. He gently set Yona, who was clinging from his tail, down and entered the bag to check where it was connected. Meanwhile, I should just go to Kivid, which is connected to the Red Tower, and then visit home once. Sejun thought he would handle urgent matters and then visit home. He wanted to go immediately, but he couldn't leave Kivid to fall into ruin. It was a sense of responsibility, knowing he couldn't turn a blind eye to what he could do, and also because he didn't want to see Ramter heartbroken if Kivid was destroyed. Aileen, please take care of these treasures. Instead, Sejun entrusted 90% of the treasures from his void storage to Aileen, so Theo wouldn't burn through all the wealth. Because if it were Theo, he could very well blow through even that much money in an instant. A little while later, Theo emerged from the bag. Where is it connected? Sejun asked Theo. Pew Hut, it's the 48th floor of the Blue Tower, meow. Chairman Park, I'll go earn lots of money, meow. Yona, see you later, meow. After telling Sejun the location of the connection, Theo said goodbye to both Sejun and Yona and went off to work. Kyung. Yona, with a sullen expression, slowly trudged toward the bedroom. She'd probably cuddle with the Theo ball and sleep until he came back. Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi is going to work too. All right, harvest a lot of herbs. Kyung. Understood. As Kyungi also headed off to work in the herb field. Blackie, let's get to work. Sejun also began farming work with Blackie in tow. Kyung. Blackie wore an expression full of reluctance. Blackie, I'll give you 1 piece of roasted and dried sweet potato for every 1,000 seeds you plant. Kilahit Kyung. Hee, great, Blackie will plant seeds well. At the mention of a reward, his energy was instantly restored. And so, Sejun and Blackie worked on the farm on the 99th floor of the Black Tower, then moved on to the 10th tower for more farming, and then headed to the Skybeam planet to continue farming again. Kyung. Great, Blackie gives up now. 20 pieces of roasted and dried sweet potato are enough. Blackie ended up collapsing just before they arrived at the Skybeam planet. Thud, thud. Upon arriving on the Skybeam planet, Sejun diligently planted Sky-reaching bean, growing the planet. He had always been busy, but the Calamity Farms had made Sejun even busier. However, this feels rewarding. To Sejun, who found deep fulfillment in farming, it didn't feel hard at all. And then you have achieved the great feat of creation for creating a planet. Another rewarding event occurred for Sejun. Chapter 662. So I'm the weakest one here. Skybeam planet. Planet? Did I create a planet? As Sejun looked at the message in confusion, you have acquired title, Planet Creator, as a reward for achieving the great feat of creation. As a reward for achieving the great feat of creation, your stay fee on the 0th floor has been reduced by 3%. Messages announcing achievement rewards appeared right after. Is this what they call a planet? Sejun looked down at the skybeam planet he was standing on, still unsure. He had just called it a planet for convenience and to make it sound cool, never thinking it would actually become a real planet. Heh, the system punk actually knows what it's doing. Sejun was happy that his feat was recognized. Thanks to that, System 371 earned its first points with Sejun. Let's see, the title is. Sejun checked the newly obtained title. Title Planet Creator. You can create a round stone that becomes the core of a planet by infusing it with magic power. Round stone. I'll find out when I make it. As he imagined creating a round stone in his mind, magic power flowed out of his body and thud. A massive stone about 50 meters in diameter appeared in front of Sejun. My magic power. Gulp, gulp. Sejun quickly drank a vibrant magical mugwort potion. He could make the stone even bigger, but he lacked the magic power to do so. Sejun examined the stone closely, but there was nothing particularly special about it. It was just a regular stone. He figured Kyungi could use it later as a throwing weapon. Since he had no intention of creating another planet, Sejun planned to use the stone just as a cannonball, but then... Keikirorong. I'm carrying your heavy weight, and you're still going to sleep. Seeing Blackie napping comfortably inside the sling bag made Sejun feel a bit mischievous. Then, Tab. Sejun used the title, Planet Creator, to create a stone the size of a tennis ball. Hehe, time to work hard a little. Sejun chuckled slyly as he held the stone. It was a workout tool for Blackie to roll around from now on. After making the workout equipment for Blackie, just as he was about to get back to work, suddenly it got dark in front of him. Soft fur tickled his face, warmth enveloped him, and a pleasant smell reached his nose. Hut, Chairman Park, I've returned, meow. Theo had returned. Okay. Meow. Sejun grabbed the scruff of Theo, who had clung to his face, and pulled him off. Then, meow, Chairman Park, I feel a pull, meow. Theo suddenly raised his front paws and shouted. A pull. Hut, that's right, meow. Where is it? Over there, meow. Sejun headed in the direction Theo was pointing with his front paw and soon encountered a dead end. Rustle. So Sejun drew his sword and cut through the wall made of plant stems as he moved forward. These are tears. He soon discovered a pond filled with the tears of the incomplete creator god. It was only about 3.3 square meters in size and really small, but considering a single drop could be exchanged for 5 drops of the elixir of great growth, it was an enormous amount. The tears of the incomplete creator god, formed during the battle with the ultra-giant destruction Sejun, had flowed through a gap and collected here. Vice Chairman Theo, good job. Hut, I Vice Chairman Theo always do well, meow. Theo puffed up proudly at Sejun's praise. Swipe, swipe. Sejun vigorously patted Theo's head and, here you go. He sent all the incomplete creator god's tears to Emilla. Then Emilla Ibeans, the first apostle of the creator god, says that this is an amount she cannot process all at once. Emilla Ibeans, the first apostle of the creator god, says she will provide 1 million drops of the great growth elixir every day for 100 days. If you are not satisfied, I will urge the first apostle of the creator god, Emilla Ibeans. Shall I urge her? A message appeared. Has the system punk finally gotten some sense? At the offer to rush Emila, Sejun grinned and said, "No, it's fine." He coolly chose not to rush her. Honestly, there was no urgency for the Great Growth Elixir. Because the unused Great Growth Elixir is still piled up in a corner of the void storage. The reason is, he's sick of the strawberry flavor. Sejun had consumed so much of the Great Growth Elixir that he had grown completely tired of it. And it wasn't something that could be cooked into other dishes either, since the elixir had a medicinal strawberry flavor that couldn't be mixed with anything else. It would ruin all the other food. A little while later, you have completed the quest. As a reward for completing the quest, you have acquired 1,000,000 drops of the Great Growth Elixir. In front of Sejun, 5,000 glass bottles filled with the Great Growth Elixir appeared. Should I send one to Kyung-chul? Seeing the absurd number of elixirs, Sejun thought of Kyung-chul. No, wait. Kyung-chul could die. He quickly shook his head. As they say, frogs forget what it was like to be a tadpole, and Sejun, like a super-ultra sunfish, nearly forgot what it had been like when he himself suffered and was about to make Kyung-chul suffer the same. Each glass bottle contained 200 drops of the Great Growth Elixir, meaning the total stat increase would be 20,000. But Kyung-chul was from Earth, a level 1 world. He didn't have the potential to handle 20,000 stats. Sejun was a special case, having been grabbed by the collar, coaxed and nurtured into growth by his companions even when he didn't want to. No matter how talented someone from Earth was, they could never handle even 1 bottle of the Great Growth Elixir. I'll just give him 3 drops. And so Kyung-chul unknowingly avoided a brush with death. Let's go home. Hut sounds good, meow. Sejun returned with Theo to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. When they arrived home, Sejun number 12 was preparing dinner. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi is back. From afar, Kyungi came running, announcing his return. As expected, Kyungi had a knack for showing up at mealtime. Kyungi, welcome back. Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi brought some good herbs. Kyungi handed Sejun 2 herbs. 3-month-old strength bellflower root. 3-month-old potential fotai root. With thanks. As Sejun thanked Kyungi and took the herb's title, one who glimpsed long into the beginning has identified the essence of the 3-month-old potential fotai root. Golden light settled over Sejun's eyes as new information was added. If you feed it to baby Heishu Wu, you can speed up its growth. I can feed it to baby Heishu Wu. For now, I should store it. Sejun put the fotai root into the void storage. Then, here, Kyungi gets a rice cake dipped in honey. Daddy gets a bellflower dipped in honey. Sejun gave Kyungi a rice cake dipped in honey and dipped his own bellflower root in honey and ate it. Crunch, crunch. Thanks to the honey, most of the bitterness was masked, making it edible. You have consumed 3-month-old strength bellflower root. Strength has increased by 30. After he finished the bellflower. Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, I also brought something, meow. Theo, who had brought Yona from the bedroom, confidently took out money from his bag. Why so much? Sejun asked in surprise. The amount of money Theo pulled out was roughly 1 trillion tower coins. It was an amount impossible to earn just by selling crops. Hut, I made a new legendary merchant my subordinate and received it, meow. Theo proudly claimed he had received it in response to Sejun's question. Yeah, right, you probably snatched it. Sejun, of course, didn't believe Theo's words so easily. And then, legendary merchant Miser Soltina of the Blue Tower has entered the merchant communication network. Blue Tower legendary merchant Miser Soltina. Everyone, Vice Chairman Theo, took 1,318,912,038,12 tower coins from me. I'm so upset. As soon as Soltina entered the merchant communication network, she started venting about how Theo had taken her money. However, Silver Tower legendary merchant gambler Charlie, what a rookie. Green Tower legendary merchant, the one who betrayed once Shark. Soltinanim, are you really a legendary merchant? That amount is way too small. Green Tower legendary merchant, Golden Land Turtle, Turbo. Only those who have had at least 5 trillion tower coins taken by Vice Chairman Theo can be here. Soltinanim, you're not quite qualified yet. Try harder and get more taken by Theonim. She received only dismissive remarks and encouragement. Blue Tower legendary merchant Bacchio. Starting today, I'll be camping on the 48th floor of the Blue Tower where Vice Chairman Theo appeared. I'm trying to earn a praise badge. I've prepared plenty of money. Purple Tower legendary merchant, Poison Immunity Master Choba. Hehe, I'm already there. Purple Tower legendary merchant, Poison Immunity Master Choba. 2 fresh photos of the excellent full-time employee Choba, who personally received a praise badge from Vice Chairman Theo. Silver Tower legendary merchant Lady Buren. Chobanim, stop spamming photos. I'm warning you nicely. Silver Tower legendary merchant Lady Buren. A photo of my frowning husband Hajin. Purple Tower legendary merchant Poison Immunity Master Choba. Eek, okay. Silver Tower legendary merchant Lady Buren. Bachil Nim, please make sure to post a photo when you get your praise badge. Blue Tower legendary merchant Generous Bachil. Yes, I will. Soon the merchant's conversation turned to the hot new topic, praise badges. All right, time to sleep. After dinner and playing with his companions, Sejun took Kyungi over to Pink Fur. Kyungi, sleep tight. Kyuehe Kyung. Hehe, good night, Dad. Kyungi gave Sejun a bow and was about to head to Pink Fur. Kyungi, aren't you forgetting something? When Sejun asked with a slightly disappointed expression. Kyung. Kyungi looked momentarily confused then. Kyung quickly figured out why Sejun was disappointed and flew into his arms. Smooch. And gave him a good-night kiss. Hehe, sleep well, Kyungi, dream of daddy. Sejun's expression instantly softened into a wide smile. Then back at home. All right, let's work hard again today. Pewhoo Hut got it, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Kakilahut Kaying. Hee butler, I'll do my best. Together, they entered Blackie's mental world and offered apologies to the souls. Original body, are I cool? Supergiant Chairman Park No. 3 showed off with a proud expression to Sejun as he provided a slide to the souls. Sejun purposely avoided eye contact with Supergiant Chairman Park No. 3. And Gilson Nightmare, I need a good dream over here too. Ah, stop it. He occasionally teased Nightmare, who hadn't yet adapted to her name. While apologizing, corruption appeared. Whoosh. As soon as it appeared, corruption met Sejun's gaze and vanished. As soon, once again, it left behind an ominous remark, leaving Sejun with an uneasy feeling. How many times is this now? Every time corruption appeared, it left a disturbing warning for Sejun. Is it going to be okay? A creeping anxiety rose from deep within. At that moment, Pewhoo Hut, Chairman Park, your face is getting ugly again, meow. Theo hurriedly flung himself and clung to Sejun's face. Squish and squish. Stomping all over Sejun's face with determination. Soothing. Thanks to that, the anxiety that had been rising scattered like mist, and Sejun felt more at ease. And then, so what if it comes? My guys are crazy strong. Hesitantly. Suddenly, Sejun was bursting with confidence. Meow. Your face is getting ugly again, meow. As Sejun's face, which had just returned to normal, began to get ugly again, Theo diligently moved his paws. While receiving Theo's front paw therapy like that, Kivid, under the management of the Red Tower, is being destroyed by calamities. Ramter Zahir, the great red dragon and administrator of the Red Tower, has granted the mid-level administrator of the Black Tower a final chance to save Kivid. A mid-level administrator quest has occurred. Mid-level administrator quest. Go to Kivid, Protect the remaining 5 red towers and defeat the calamity. If only 1 red tower remains, the quest will be deemed a failure. Reward, Peace in Kivid, all stats plus 550 billion tower coins. Failure, you will be automatically returned to the Black Tower. Do you wish to accept the quest? A quest message appeared in front of Sejun. Before Sejun could obtain the land deed for the first floor of the Red Tower, Kivid was on the verge of destruction. Ramter, placing his final hope in Sejun, gave up on his own descent. Everyone, let's finish here for today. Sejun quickly exited the mental world. Vice Chairman Theo, go wake up Kyungi and bring him over. Hut got it meow. He began preparing to depart. And then, boom! What is this? Flamey number 225, who was working in aerial, was suddenly attacked and vanished. By an ordinary wild animal, no less. There was something strange about this world. Level 9 World Aerial. There was a law of the world that applied only in aerial, created by someone in ancient times. The weak become stronger, and the strong become weaker. That's why Flamey was struck and wiped out by a common wild beast. And then, so that means I'm the weakest one here. Woohoo! Flamey, who had realized the laws of aerial after getting several avatars destroyed, was overjoyed. Chapter 663. Great Blackie is unrivaled throughout heaven and earth. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kyung. Dad, what's going on? Still half asleep, Kyungi, who had been carried on Theo's back, rubbed his eyes and asked. You're sleepy, right? Sorry. A quest suddenly came up, so we have to head to Kivid right now. Sejun explained the situation to Kyungi, who was on Theo's back, and laid him down on the bed that had been prepared in advance in the void storage. Kekurarung Iamrarung. Kekurarung. Beside him, the Blackie family was already asleep. Hud. Kurarung. Theo, who had Yona hanging from his tail while sleeping, quickly sat at the entrance of the void storage, ready to be the first to come out. Then do you wish to accept the quest? Accept. Sejun replied to the message that had been floating in front of him. Immediately after, you will be transported to Kivid in 30 seconds. You may bring subordinates with you. Please designate which subordinates will accompany you. Messages appeared. Since Sejun had already placed his companions in the void storage, there was no need to designate them. This time Kyungi is going, so it'll be over quickly. Sejun was already acting as if he had defeated all the calamities in Kivid. He had good reason to think so. According to what he heard from Ramter, there were definitely 90 towers remaining in the level 8 world Kivid until yesterday. For dozens of towers to vanish in such a short period, the most likely explanation was the planet-destroying turtles, and in large numbers. And here they had the best tamer of planet-destroying turtles, Kyungi. While Sejun was delighting in this thought, the 30 seconds had passed. You will now be transported to Kivid. Sejun vanished. Aileen, I think you'll be asleep, so I'm leaving a note. I'm heading to Kivid at Ramternim's request. In the mess hall, Sejun had left a neatly placed note for Aileen on top of a 10-pack choco pie cake. Creator God's Temple. Hurry up, you need to get everything ready to welcome Sejunim. Flamey number 205 was scolding the Creator God, Emila, and Amur as they scrambled to prepare the room where the Creator God would stay in. During that time, Sejun sent a massive amount of incomplete Creator God's tears. From now on, Emilanim, please focus on making the great growth elixir. Emila was excused from the room-making work. Moments later, Creator Godnam the beads. As Emila brought in a massive quantity of beads while making the great growth elixir, the Creator God was also excused to finish the painting that depicted the memory of destruction, leaving Amur all alone. HMPH, you couldn't even draw properly and now you're doing this work so poorly. Work harder. Flamey's fiery scolding began. The grudge-holding tree of creation, Park Flamey. Her revenge for Amur not drawing Sejun properly in the family portrait was not yet over. The portrait came out that way because Sejun was weak. Amur felt so wrong but couldn't talk back. You have arrived in Kivid. Sejun arrived in Kivid. At that moment, zing! A red beam flew toward Sejun. It was a destruction beam from a planet-destroying turtle. Kaboom! You have received a fatal attack. You are in invincible state. No damage taken. That hurt, Sejun complained as he removed his gloves and thrust his hands forward. Then, the power of destruction vanished, canceling each other out. Heh, I'm now planet-destroying Sejun too. As Sejun smirked proudly. Clunk. Chairman Park reporting meow. Chairman Park, what happened to your face, meow? It's rotten, meow. Theo, who was coming out of the void storage, was startled and grabbed Sejun's face. Zing! Kyung! Kaboom! Just then, a destruction beam flew towards Sejun again, but Kyungi smacked it away with his front paw. Kyung! They attacked Dad. The turtles need to be punished. Furious, he flew toward the planet-destroying turtles. Buck! The planet-destroying turtles shrank their size and desperately flipped on their backs to try and appease Kyungi's anger. But, Kyung, who is the bad turtle that attacked Dad just now? Kyungi did not calm down and set out to identify the culprit. Buck! It's him, he did it. Buck! That's right, I saw it. The planet-destroying turtles, choosing to win Kyungi's favor over loyalty, ratted out their comrade to him. Buck. I really didn't mean to, I'm sorry. The planet-destroying turtle that had attacked Sejun had tears welling in its eyes as it begged for forgiveness. Of course, that didn't erase what it had done, especially not the massacres it had committed until now. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi brought the bad turtles. Kyungi brought the planet-destroying turtles and left them to Sejun for judgment. Vice Chairman Theo hired them. Hut got it, meow. Naturally, Sejun's judgment was to hire them as full-time employees of Sejun Company. Stamp. While Theo eagerly stamped them. And from now on, all the turtles will fight for world peace. Sejun gave the planet-destroying turtles a new mission. Now that even calamities could be raised in the void storage, there was no need to keep running around. So his idea was to send the planet-destroying turtles in his place. The business trips may be frequent, but I'll give them plenty of travel expenses. Sejun smirked slyly, looking at the planet-destroying turtles who would now be working hard in his place. Then, fight for world peace. Just kill us instead. We're originally planet-destroying turtles, meant to assist the beast of apocalypse in bringing about the end of the world. The planet-destroying turtles were defiant of Sejun's orders. However, Kyung, if Dad says do it, then do it. Buck. Yes, sir. Buck. We'll do our best to protect world peace. With just one word from Kyungi, they immediately changed their stance. Thus, the planet-destroying turtles surrendered completely, and the battle ended anticlimactically. You have completed the mid-level administrator quest. As a reward for completing the quest, peace has returned to Kivid. A message confirming the quest's completion appeared. As a result, all of Sejun's stats increased by 500, and he received 50 billion tower coins. Guys, let's stop and head bar. Sejun was about to return with his companions. At that moment, a new quest has occurred. Quest. Due to an insufficient number of red towers in Kivid, the connection between the red towers and Kivid has become unstable. Please reconstruct at least 30 red towers in the marked locations within 12 hours. Rebuilding the red towers requires a large amount of magic power, many stones, and strong fire energy. Reward for each red tower rebuilt. All stats plus 10, mental strength plus 50, 10 billion tower coins. A new quest appeared in front of Sejun. Rebuild towers. As Sejun confirmed the quest and looked around, red beams of light marking locations for tower reconstruction appeared everywhere. Let's head over there first. Sejun moved with his companions to the nearest red beam. Then, so do I just inject magic power here? Thrust. When Sejun inserted his hand into the red beam. Meow. Kaiwat kaiwat kaiwat. Kyuang. Kaying. The companions quickly followed Sejun and extended their front paws. All right, should we shout our motto again for old time's sake? Sejun knelt on his left knee and began. We are. As he called out, the companions stacked their front paws on top of Sejun's hand. One meow. One. Kyuang. One. Kaying. Great Blackie is unrivaled throughout heaven and earth. They shouted the motto. There was another motto, but they ignored it. All right, let's pour in the magic power. Sejun and his companions poured in their magic power, and after about 10 seconds, sufficient magic power has been filled to reconstruct the red tower. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Gulp, gulp. In the meantime, Sejun drank a vibrant magical mugwort potion to replenish himself. Of course, the others were perfectly fine. As for Blackie, Keikirorong, he fainted. Okay, magic power is done. Sejun, along with Eamdal and Jackie, created stones and inserted them into the red beam. Kaiwat kaiwat kaiwat. Kyuang. Mumu. Lona, Kyuangi, and Mubelchil created fire and placed it into the red beam. Moments later, all conditions for the red tower have been fulfilled. Rumbly. The red tower began to be rebuilt. The tower was completed swiftly. The newly rebuilt red tower looked slightly different from the previous ones. Hundreds of red stones floated in the air around the tower. Thanks to the excellent quality of the materials used for the reconstruction of the red tower, the tower has been enhanced. The reason was that Sejun and his companions had used high-quality stone and powerful fire energy as materials. Soon, once the tower was fully reconstructed, an armed red tower has been completed. Rewards will be distributed all at once when the quest is completed. The word armed had been added as a modifier in front of the red tower. Armed. Apparently, the floating red stones surrounding the red tower function like turrets, attacking enemies that approach the tower. I'll have to strengthen the black tower too when I return to Earth. Thus, Sejun and his companions succeeded in rebuilding the red tower. All right, let's move to the next location. They continued to move to locations where red light pillars were visible and kept reconstructing the red towers. Time is up. While tirelessly rebuilding the towers, the allotted 12 hours had flown by. Then you have completed the quest. Since the red towers were upgraded into armed red towers, the reward has been increased by 20%. The number of armed red towers you rebuilt is 126. The connection between the red towers and Kivid has been solidly reinforced. What? Wasn't the limit supposed to be 100, calculating quest rewards? As a reward for completing the quest, all your stats have increased by 1512. As a reward for completing the quest, your mental strength has increased by 7560. As a reward for completing the quest, you have acquired 1.512 trillion tower coins. Sejun, who thought the total number of towers to be built in Kivid was 100, had diligently continued rebuilding until the red light pillars disappeared, and he received a massive reward. Hoo-hoo. So I gained about 6,000 in total stats. How fulfilling. Sejun thought to himself that it had been another fulfilling day. Puhut, I'm happy that Chairman Park got stronger, meow. Sejun Nim, I can worry a little less now. Haha, Dad's not so weak anymore, yay. Hee, Butler still has a long way to go before he can truly play with Great Blackie. The companions also felt a sense of reward as they watched the slightly stronger Sejun. Everyone, let's go home. Thus, Sejun and his companions began returning to the Black Tower. Meanwhile, Piwahaha. Not only did Sejun prevent the destruction of Kivid, but he even rebuilt the destroyed red towers. Rebuilt them. Can rebuild towers. That's right, and our Sejun can even enhance them. Piwahaha. Ramter began bragging to the other dragons that Sejun could not only rebuild towers, but also strengthen them. Then I should ask Sejun for help too. 2. Connection with Rasia was unstable, so this is great news. The dragons were waiting for Sejun's return so he could rebuild their towers. Although Sejun had intended to send planet-destroying turtles on business trips to get some rest, he was hit with more work again. Of course, the great dragons were also planning to properly compensate Sejun for his travel expenses. And then, Pio. Huh. The pursuit team is here again. Pio. Urin Nim go. The strategic weapon Urin was also hard at work. Got it, I'll be back. Urin jumped energetically toward the enemy's ship. Yuhiha, I am the strategic weapon king of misfortune Urin. It now seemed like he was secretly enjoying his own misfortune. Chapter 664. Giving just 1 point is too heartless. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Sejun arrived home. It's morning. As the sun rose, the darkness receded. But didn't I leave at dawn? Sejun was confused. Of course, he hadn't returned after just a few hours. More than 24 hours had passed, and morning had arrived. At that moment, the seed shop will now open. Park Sejun Nim's rank is Transcendence. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Because Sejun wasn't in the tower, the shop didn't open. But now that he had returned, the seed shop finally opened a day late. Congratulations on your 20th visit to the seed shop, Park Sejun Nim. And it was already his 20th visit to the seed shop. Oh God Sejun. God Sejun. God Sejun. The non-combat gods, who had been greatly disappointed that the seed shop didn't open, cheered and chanted in joy. Unaware of how the non-combat deities felt. Was it already the 20th time? Last time during the 10th seed shop opening, I received an elixir. It's probably going to be another elixir. Sejun waited for the next message with a slightly disappointed voice. He could now get elixirs whenever he wanted. However, opening the Sacred Relic shop for our 20th transaction customer. Sacred Relic. Once again, Sejun's prediction was completely off. In a good way, as you are of Transcendence rank, sacred relics containing transcendental grade powers have been added to the list. 3 types of sacred relics will be randomly shown for sale today. There is no purchase limit in the Sacred Relic shop. Sacred relics are tools that contain divine powers. With a sacred relic, there's a limit to the number of times it can be used, but you could wield powers on par with those used by gods. In a way, they might be the perfect items for Sejun, who couldn't demonstrate the full extent of divine powers or relics due to his low stats. Sacred Relic. Scroll painted with the scenery of nature, Transcendence grade. 1 trillion tower coins plus 10,000 pieces of world's energy. Sacred Relic. Growth acceleration hourglass. 100 billion tower coins plus 2,000 pieces of world's energy. Sacred Relic. Soft gummy bear jelly. 20 billion tower coins plus 1,100 pieces of world's energy. These were the 3 sacred relics randomly presented. Really expensive. Compared to other items sold at the seed shop, the prices were ridiculously high. Of course, for Sejun, who recently had plenty of money, it wasn't an unbearable amount. But is it okay to pay with world's energy that hasn't had the corruption removed? Knowing that corruption was hiding within the world's energy, Sejun hesitated slightly. Still, he couldn't just not buy them. The system will probably handle it properly. I'll take them all. Too lazy to examine and compare them one by one, Sejun decided to purchase all 3 sacred relics. You have purchased Sacred Relic. Scroll painted with the scenery of nature, Transcendence grade. Sacred Relic. Growth acceleration hourglass, Sacred Relic. Soft gummy bear jelly. A total of 1,120 billion tower coins have been withdrawn from Park Sejun-nim's seed bank account. You have paid 13,100 pieces of world's energy. After paying for the sacred relics, the scroll, hourglass, and bear-shaped jelly appeared in front of Sejun. Let's see here. Starting with the Transcendence Grade 1. Sejun checked the sacred relics, sacred relic, scroll painted with the scenery of nature, Transcendence Grade. A scroll containing the scenery of nature painted by Nachu, the god of nature, imbued with his divine power. By staring at the scroll for more than 1 minute, you can receive the transcendental power, natural state, which removes all divine powers and talent effects applied to your body, returning it to its natural, original state whenever you wish. Usage restriction: Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Creator: Nachu, the god of nature. Grade: Sacred relic, growth acceleration hourglass. An hourglass created by Li, the god of abundance, infused with the sand of abundance and divine power. Flipping the hourglass allows you to use the divine power, storm growth, which accelerates the growth speed of crops within a 1 km radius by 20 times for 1 day. Usable 3 times. Usage restriction: Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Creator: Li, the god of abundance. Grade: Sacred relic, soft gummy bear jelly. A bear-shaped jelly crafted with divine power by Po, the god of jelly, by kneading it with care. By kneading the gummy bear jelly for more than 10 minutes, you can use the divine power, soft and squishy healing time which removes anxiety. Usable 5 times. Usage restriction: Black Tower's Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Creator: Po, the god of jelly. Grade: SSS. What the? To be honest, everything besides Li's sacred relic was rather unimpressive. The divine power contained in the sacred relic of Nachu, the god of nature, natural state, was completely useless to Sunfish Sejun. As for healing time, my guys are enough. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie's cheeks and belly fat were way softer than Po's sacred relic. Should have checked the options before buying. Sejun regretted his impulsive purchase. At that moment, you may leave your satisfaction rating and give feedback to the god who sold the sacred relic. Would you like to provide feedback? Yes. Of course. Time to let them know how annoyed I am. How many points would you like to give for the sacred relic, scroll painted with the scenery of nature, Transcendence Grade? Choose between 110 points. 5 points. He didn't need it, but since it granted divine power, he gave it a 5. 9 points. Sejun then rated Li's sacred relic as well. And finally, the score for Po's sacred relic, which was obviously the most useless. Giving just 1 point is too heartless. 2 points. He gave a heartfelt 2 points. Everyone, let's have breakfast. After giving his satisfaction ratings for all the sacred relics he bought, Sejun headed to the cooking area with his companions. Wait, what's this? System 371. Discovered world's energy free of corruption, mixed within the world's energy that Sejun had paid. And there was a being called corruption hiding in the world's energy. You dare try to deceive System 371. As System 371 read options of the world's energy freed from corruption, it learned about the existence called corruption and became enraged. If it weren't for Sejun-nim, this could have been a disaster. As expected, I chose the right side. Although Sejun never officially accepted it, System 371 was fully convinced it was part of Sejun's camp. But how do I deal with corruption? I can't even detect it. It had only just learned of corruption's existence. System 371 had no power to search for or destroy it. There's no choice. I'll give you divine power in exchange, so hand it over. Please, Sejun-nim. Let's go. So System 371 retrieved the world's energy it had given to the gods while simultaneously giving Sejun a new quest. A quest has been issued. Quest: eliminate corruption from world's energy and convert it into world's energy freed from corruption. Reward: for every one world's energy freed from corruption created. +7 to all stats, 10 billion tower coins, 0.0001% reduction in the 0th floor stay fee, and 1 million experience points. The rewards were plentiful, stuffed with various benefits by System 371, for Sejun's sake. However, what kind of lousy rewards are these? Are you kidding me? Sejun, who felt more dislike than favor toward System 371, could only see the negatives. Seed Shop Headquarters. Wow, I got picked. Po, congrats. Haha, yes. Thank you everyone for your congratulations. And congrats to Lee-nim and Nachu-nim too. Congratulations to all. Nachu, Lee, and Po, who had sold sacred relics to Sejun at the Sacred Relic Shop, were being congratulated by other non-combat gods as the square turned festive. The Seed Shop headquarters was bustling, but the shouts from the combat gods at the combat shop headquarters yelling for quiet could no longer be heard. That's because all the gods from the combat shop headquarters who joined Sejun Company were now subordinates of the Seed Shop gods. Of course, there weren't many, but the combat gods within Sejun Company were giving disapproving looks to the ones shouting. And with senior officials like Bev and Battler even scolding them, it became a tough atmosphere for the combat shop gods to shout at the Seed Shop gods. Just as the Seed Shop headquarters festival was about to hit full stride, Transcendence-ranked Park Sejun-nim has left satisfaction ratings. Sacred Relic, scroll painted with the scenery of nature, Transcendence grade, 5 points. Sacred Relic, growth acceleration hourglass, 9 points. Sacred Relic, soft gummy bear jelly, 2 points. Sejun's satisfaction ratings were revealed, and with them, the emotional highs and lows of Nachu, Lee, and Po unfolded. My Transcendence grade Sacred Relic only got 5 points. Nachu was devastated. Hoo, as expected of God Sejun, he held me in the highest regard all along. Lee was puffed up with pride. Haha, if something I made half-heartedly got 2 points, then once I, Po, start putting in real effort, 10 points will be a breeze. Po's confidence shot through the sky. Today's drinks are on me. In any case, despite getting the lowest satisfaction score, Po was the happiest of them all. After breakfast, Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'll be back after making tons of money, meow. Kyungi will be back too. All right, take care. Sejun sent Theo and Kyungi off to work. I should work too. He began farming on the 99th floor of the tower. The reason the dragons were so quiet despite Sejun's presence. Let's stop overworking my Sejun. Because Aileen had stepped in. Of course, Sejun wasn't the type to stop working just because of that, but while he was in the tower, Aileen could monitor him through her crystal orb. So while Sejun was working diligently on the farm, roll, kill a hit. Blackie was playing by rolling the stone ball Sejun had given him. Though the stone ball had some weight, its round shape allowed it to roll on slopes by itself, making it a fun toy. K-yak, kill a hit. He panted as he carried the ball in his mouth up the slope. Roll. Kill a hit, kaying. Hee, it's great, Blackies. Blackie darted around, chasing the rolling ball with excitement. Playing with the ball meant there was no need to force him to exercise. He's having fun. What a relief. After finishing his farming, Sejun smiled warmly as he watched Blackie play. A little later, thud. Sejun summoned the gate that led to the 10th floor of the tower and moved through it. He left Blackie behind since he was diligently working on his diet. Instead, he left the gate open to the 10th floor so Blackie could come to him anytime. However, until lunchtime, Blackie never came looking for Sejun. Blackie, you little rascal, that's one less roasted and dried sweet potato for today. Feeling slightly hurt that Blackie hadn't come for him, Sejun returned to the 99th floor. Keikirorong. There lay Blackie, clutching the stone ball in his arms while he slept, looking like a total mess from all the running around. How cute. You must have been exhausted, huh? Sejun's disappointment melted away like snow. Kaying. He carefully picked up Blackie along with the stone ball. Maintain cleanliness. He gave him a good wash, gently placed him in the sling bag, and set it up so he could rest deeply. And then, today I'll have lunch and a nice little chat with Aileen, just the two of us. Aileen, what are you doing? Want to eat lunch together? Sejun called out to Aileen. It wasn't a visual meeting, but more like a chat date. The tower's administrator replies with a happy voice, saying she'd love to. Stop. Pine, I was just about to eat with brother-in-law. Aileen responded to Sejun while hurriedly stopping Ace. What do you want to eat, Aileen? Sejun asked Aileen. The tower's administrator says that anything you make is good for her. Really? Then let's have pasta today. A little later. So about what happened? Sejun enjoyed a quiet meal with Aileen, chatting while eating pasta. Kaying. Butler, why are you eating alone? Feed great Blackie too. Of course, the pleasant mood didn't last long, thanks to Blackie barking midway demanding food. 48th floor of the Blue Tower. Pew hut. Bachil, giving me 3 trillion tower coins, that's excellent, meow. I'll give you a praise badge as a reward, meow. Thank you. Bachil, who had been eagerly awaiting Theo's arrival, received the praise badge directly from Theo. Blue Tower legendary merchant, generous, Bachil. Warm video of excellent full-time employee Bachil receiving a praise badge directly from Vice Chairman Theo. 500. He uploaded a 5-minute video to the Merchant Communication Network. It cost 1 billion tower coins per minute to upload a video. I really wanted to do this at least once. Bachil cheerfully paid 5 billion tower coins for the bragging rights. The video stirred up enough envy to ignite a praise badge competition among the other legendary merchants, setting the stage for a fierce new battle. Chapter 665. Flamey Nim's avatar was killed by weaklings like this. 99th floor of the Black Tower. After finishing lunch. Blackie, let's go. Killahit Kaying. He got it. Great Blackie will go with Butler. Sejun crossed the dimensional gate with the Blackie family and moved to the surface of the Skybeam planet. As Sejun and Blackie appeared, Kaya. They were greeted by the Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers. Wow, you've gathered quite a lot. Poog. Sejun planted the Destruction Devourer seeds and Destruction Pioneer seeds that had been piled up in one spot. Killahit Kaying. Guys, the butler offered this to the great Blackie. Blackie proudly showed off the stone ball Sejun had given him to his subordinates. And then, Kaying. Great Blackie will specially let you play with it together. They played with the stone ball together. Kaying. All right, move it over there. No, to be exact, he made his subordinates roll the stone ball to a sloped area. Killahit Kaying. Then I'm going. Roll. And Blackie alone enjoyed the fun of chasing after the rolling stone ball. Blackie's selfish mindset of enjoying pleasure without effort. However, Kaya. The Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers preferred pushing the stone ball slowly rather than chasing after the one that rolled down quickly. To be honest, it wasn't the ball that mattered, but the fact that they could play together with Blackie held more value for them. While Blackie was excitedly playing with his subordinates. Poog. Sejun diligently planted seeds. An hour later. My back. Sejun straightened up for a moment and looked around. Looking at it like this, it really does look like the sky. Sejun's eyes caught the blue sky created with the blue energy of creation. As he admired the sky of the Skybeam planet. Come to think of it, this planet doesn't have a name yet. He realized that the Skybeam planet didn't have an official name. Then I'll have to name it. Come to think of it, Sejun was the creator of this planet, so he had the responsibility to name it too. What should I name it? As Sejun was contemplating what name to give the planet. Kaying. Blackie, who had been playing with his subordinates, sensed that Sejun was about to do something and closely observed him. Left eyebrow raised 0.3 degrees, right eyebrow raised 0.5 degrees and lips in a straight line. That means Kaying. The butler is nomming something. Blackie realized that Sejun was nomming something. Kivihit. Wanting to witness Sejun's nomming show from the front row, Blackie quickly ran over to him. Clegg. Butler, give it an embarrassing name like you used to. He sat right in front of Sejun and looked up at him with eyes full of anticipation. A moment later. Camule disiang, TL. Kohumya desangenus, camule disiang equals kohainus, ka from kabolto plus komyainus. Mule means destruction plus kodainus. D means big plus kosungenus. Siang means planet. Sejun named the planet. It held a very good meaning, honoring the contributions of Kabolto who emitted gas, absorbing the energy of destruction and the body of an apostle of destruction, and wishing for the planet to grow large. Kilahit Kaying. Hit, that's my butler, Camule Disiang. Sejun Nim, you are amazing. K. Kurug. Sharalang. The Blackie family's reaction was extremely enthusiastic. While the Blackie family was celebrating the effect of talent, Namer has been activated. The name Camule Disiang has been imbued with a special effect. The durability of Camule Disiang has increased. Camule Disiang can now emit 100 billion liters of gas per day and move. Camule Disiang can now absorb the energy of destruction to increase the planet's size. As the Namer talent activated, unique effects were imbued in Camule Disiang. Although the name was lame, thankfully, its meaning was good, resulting in decent effects. As Sejun, who had named the planet Camule Disiang, resumed planting seeds again. Puhuhut, Chairman Park, I've returned, meow. Kueha Kuang. Haha, Kuangi is here too. Guys, good work. As Theo and Kuangi arrived, Sejun also finished his work and got off work. While Sejun number 12 was preparing dinner. Puhuhut, Chairman Park, look at this, meow. I made a lot of money, meow. Theo proudly shouted as he pulled out the money he received from Bachio. Kueha Kuang. Haha, Dad, look at this, it's a new herb. Kuangi also puffed up with pride as he pulled out a herb that hadn't been seen in the herb field until now. 15-day-old magical ginger. Ginger. Kuangi, thanks, I'll enjoy it, but where did you get this? Sejun asked, puzzled. As far as he knew, there was no ginger in the herb field. Kueha Kuang. Hehe, Kuangi grew it and harvested it. Yeah, that makes sense, but I meant, where did you get the ginger seed? Kuang. Mom got it for me. Pink Fur. The tower's administrator says that Pink Fur asked Elka and Hegel to bring herbs. Aileen cleared up Sejun's curiosity. To support her herb-gathering son, Pink Fur had asked the wolf mercenaries to bring back herbs when they found any. And the wolves who received Pink Fur request would collect or purchase herbs whenever they saw them while transporting goods or doing escort missions, then bring them up to the 99th floor of the tower. Kuangi was cultivating those herbs. The cost of the herbs brought by the wolves was paid by Aileen. After all, those herbs would mostly end up in Sejun's mouth. Kuangi, do you have anything other than ginger? Kuang. There are 3 more. Really, what are they? According to Kuangi, they were Angelica tree shoot, Sophora root, and Hovenia. Kuangi, let's not grow Sophora root. I don't want to eat it, that stuff's super bitter. Knowing that he would inevitably end up eating it, Sejun tried to block it in advance by opposing the cultivation of Sophora root, but the tower's administrator says medicine that's good for the body is supposed to be bitter and urges you to eat it diligently. The tower's administrator says in a disappointed voice, wasn't your goal to grow strong quickly so you could see her? No, that's not it, I'll eat it. Sejun hurriedly reversed his opinion at Aileen's words. Then, What are the options on this? He checked the ginger Kyungi had brought, 15-day-old magical ginger. A ginger grown for 15 days inside the tower, cultivated by an excellent herbalist, with significantly increased medicinal properties. Its sweetness has intensified. Upon consumption, magic power plus 10, magic power potential plus 50. Cultivator, advanced herbalist Kyungi. Shelf life 100 days. Grade B+. The options were decent. No, they were excellent for a 15-day-old herb. I should make ginger tea with this. Sejun number 12, make some ginger tea with this. While Sejun gave instructions to Sejun number 12. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, aren't you curious about how I made that money, meow? Theo asked Sejun, wearing a face that was clearly hopping to be asked. He seemed sulky since Sejun had only asked Kyungi. How'd you get it? Pew Hut, listen up, meow. When I arrived at the 48th floor of the Blue Tower, Bachil. As Theo eagerly bragged about how he gave Bachil a crudely made praise badge and got paid for it. Clank. Sejun, listening to Theo's story, checked the Calamity Farm. Russell. Kyung. Together with Kyungi, they killed about 10,000 white locusts, and only dealing with fully evolved calamities, they stored them in the void storage. Thanks to them, when the work was almost done. PPX. Everyone, time to eat. Shari flew over from the kitchen and called everyone. All right, we're coming. Sejun gathered the group and headed to the kitchen for dinner. While they were having dinner, the blessing of destruction has disappeared. A message appeared before Sejun. It had been a week since destruction. Sejun, the god of destruction, granted Sejun the blessing of destruction, and now the blessing had expired. It's finally gone. With a relieved expression, Sejun took off the gloves he had been wearing. This time, I kinda understood how you guys felt. Everything just broke the moment I touched it. Speaking a bit smugly. Chairman Park, your face is rotting, meow. Of course, the price of Sejun's smugness was Theo's kneading. Kyung. Kilahit Kaying. In addition, Kyungi and Blackie also stepped on Sejun's face. And then, hey Park Blackie, where have you been playing? Sejun grew furious at the stickiness he felt every time Blackie stepped on his face. Earlier at Kamyuldisiang, Blackie had been running around and gotten plant sap all over his paws. Thus, a peaceful day wrapped up in boisterous chaos. All right, let's work hard again today. After dropping Kyungi off with Pink Fur, Sejun and his companions lay down on the bed and entered Blackie's mental world. At first, he had cursed the system for giving stingy rewards. But it was still better than receiving nothing at all. And having rewards at all gave him a bit of motivation. This is delicious. Please forgive our guys after enjoying this meal. Pew Hut, this fish was grilled by our great hybrid Chairman Park. Try it, meow. Kaiwat, please try this stir-fried peanut too. I'll make sure you have a good dream. Thus, in Blackie's mental world, Sejun, Theo, Iona, and Gilson Nightmare soothed the soul's hearts. I'm really sorry. Sorry. The Blackie family sincerely apologized and received forgiveness from the souls. Then, Gyuraruk. Corruption appeared again, as always. Sejun quickly turned toward corruption. Whoosh. Corruption's grotesque body ignited and began to burn. He thought it would say something similar to usual, but today was different. However, I found that ominous feeling couldn't even be compared to the usual. The goosebumps on his neck and arms and his trembling hands showed how terrified Sejun was. Found what? Disappear already. Sejun, terrified, stared at corruption with such force that the blood vessels in his eyes were about to burst, and corruption instantly vanished. Huff. Sejun panted heavily. Chairman Park, are you okay, meow? Theo hurriedly clung to Sejun's knee. Kaying. Butler, don't worry. Great Blackie will protect you. Blackie also rushed to Sejun's side and stood guard, firmly planting all four legs. Fortunately, since the words found didn't mean an immediate attack, nothing happened. I'm okay now. Sejun, who had calmed down thanks to Theo and Blackie, apologized to the souls again with his companions. Kur, Gorarong, Kurarong, Kekirarong. The bedroom was filled only with the sound of Sejun and the others snoring. Pip pip, everyone, good night. Peacebees woke up and began his activities. Chomp chomp chomp. So tasty. Peacebees started by having a meal. At that moment, Peacebees, Potery's roots extended into the kitchen and called out to Peacebees. And then, Pip pip, Potery Nim, what's going on? Peacebees, there's something you need to do. Pip pip. It's something Flamey requested. Pip pip, Flamey Nim. Yeah, you absolutely must do it. No, you have to do it. Potery spoke to Peacebees in an extremely earnest voice. Every time Sejun was away from the tower, Flamey sent an avatar to nurture Potery and the sausages. To have Sejun find Ariel, Flamey had told Potery to relay her words to Peacebees. Of course, if Peacebees didn't comply with the request, it would obviously be considered that Potery hadn't properly conveyed Flamey's message. Pip pip, then should I open a dimensional gate to Ariel? Yes, but after opening the gate, return immediately and go together with Sejun Nim. Absolutely, otherwise it's dangerous. Pip pip. I have to go with Sejun Nim or else it's dangerous. What does that mean? Peacebees couldn't understand Potery's words, but since it was Flamey's request, he decided to obey. And then, I feel Flamey Nim's presence strongly here. Whoosh whoosh. While tracking Flamey's energy, Peacebees created a dimensional gate. Although there were many avatars of Flamey, it didn't take long to find her. Peacebees, you came. Soon, Peacebees found Flamey's avatar number 253, who was hiding between some rocks. At that moment, oh, Peacebees, hurry and go back. Flamey urgently shouted at Peacebees. Pip pip, yes. Peacebees quickly flew toward the dimensional gate. What is it? Unable to suppress his curiosity, Peacebees slightly turned his head to look at Flamey. Quagic. A small and seemingly insignificant ant approached at an incredible speed and bit Flamey's avatar number 253 cleanly in half. And then, Sazazak. A swarm of ants quickly crawled toward Peacebees. In that instant, Peacebees crossed the dimensional gate, but the ants followed right after him through the gate. And then, Quagic Quagic. Flamey Nim's avatar was killed by weaklings like this. As soon as Peacebees crossed the dimensional gate, he realized why Flamey wanted him to bring Sejun, while killing the small ants whose strength and speed had significantly decreased. Chapter 666. Hog, 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 hog. 99th floor of the Black Tower. So you're saying that if you go to this world called Ariel, the weak become strong, and the strong become weak. After waking up in the morning and taking care of the Theo couple and the Blackie family before heading outside, Sejun asked this while chatting with Peacebees, who had stayed awake waiting for him. And then, Pip pip, yes. Quagic. Peacebees responded while dealing with the ants invading the tower through the dimensional gate from Ariel. For some reason, perhaps because the ant that died sent some kind of signal to its kin, more ants kept swarming in. Guard Park Peacebees has eliminated a worker ant. You have obtained 50,000 experience points, which is 50% of the experience gained by Guard Park Peacebees. Thanks to that, Sejun comfortably gained experience from the side. Pew Hugh Hut, then if we go there, will Chairman Park be the strongest one, meow? Quagic. Theo asked curiously, while helping Peacebees take down the ants. Ha ha ha. Finally, the time has come for me to show my true strength. Sejun put on a smug expression, but, meow, Chairman Park, your face is rotting, meow. He was stepped on by Theo. And then, Killahit Kaying. He, no matter how strong the butler gets, he's no match for the great Blackie. Blackie barked confidently, while stepping on Sejun's face as well. However, Hazeli. This time, the rotting expression didn't fade easily. Sejun laughed sinisterly as he imagined himself reigning supreme in Ariel. Meow. I can't let it rot any further, meow. Flash. Theo began kneading Sejun's face in earnest while burning money. Thanks to this, about 20 trillion tower coins from Sejun's void storage were lost, but he didn't realize it. For reference, Sejun's strength level was somewhere between a 4th level and 5th level world, comparable to a powerhouse of the 4th level world or the weakest of the 5th level world. Typically, beings called heroes in each world can surpass the limits of their world by about 2 to 3 levels, and by that standard, Sejun was a being who even surpassed heroes. Of course, that only referred to his raw strength. Actual combat skills were another story. Thus, in order to become the strongest in Ariel, Blackie, wait here. I'll give you 10 roasted and dried sweet potatoes instead. Kaying Tilahut Kaying. Butler, really? Hee, okay. You guys wait too, it's dangerous. Hut, got it, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Sejun left the weakest Blackie family behind and crossed the dimensional gate alone, leaving the others as well. Then, since you have arrived in Ariel, you must now abide by the laws of Ariel. We will now apply the rule where the weak become strong and the strong become weak. Among the beings currently in Ariel, you are the weakest. According to the rule, you have now become the strongest. Messages appeared before Sejun. At the same time, the ants from the 9th level world, which had once been stronger than him, now felt like the ants he had seen on Earth. Quagic, you have eliminated a worker ant. As Sejun easily disposed of the worker ants. Clang. A soldier ant approached, clashing its jaws that were as hard as iron. Crunch, you have eliminated a soldier ant. Of course, it was still just an ant. Hezeli. To think I'm the world's strongest. Just as Sejun's face was about to swell with pride. Meow, Chairman Park, take care of your face, meow. Theo couldn't stand it and entered Ariel by crossing the dimensional gate. And then, meow. Is this really Chairman Park's energy, meow? Theo sensed the immense energy Sejun was radiating and used energy flow and energy absorption to manage it as he climbed onto Sejun's face. Poke. He diligently stepped on Sejun's face. It wasn't easy for Theo, who was weaker than the ants in Ariel, to knead Sejun's face, but he did it out of an intense sense of duty. At that moment, Kilahit Kaying. Great Blackie wants to step on the butler's face too. I can't miss this. Blackie, who had given up the 10 roasted and dried sweet potatoes, also crossed the dimensional gate to step on Sejun's face. And then, boom! Blackie jumped toward Sejun's face. Seeing Blackie flying at him at a speed that seemed like it would kill him if he got hit, Sejun frantically moved his head. Kaying. Blackie grazed past Sejun's face and continued soaring high into the sky, soon becoming a small dot and disappearing. Since Blackie is stronger than me here, it should be fine, right? Putting aside his worries about the Blackie family, Sejun continued dealing with the swarming ants. Quagic. A while later, just when the ants stopped rushing in, possibly due to some kind of danger signal sent to their kin. Kyung. Dad, what are you doing over there? Kyungi crossed the dimensional gate and approached Sejun. At the same time, the law of Ariel tried to restrain Kyungi, but lost. The dark red energy emitted from Kyungi's body pushed the law away. The beast of apocalypse that defies even the laws of the world. Kyung. Why did Big Bro and sister-in-law suddenly get weak? Thanks to this, Kyungi, who remained perfectly fine in Ariel, tilted his head as he looked at the weakened Theo and Iona. And so, pushed down by the Blackie family, and then by Kyungi, Sejun became the 14th ranked in Ariel. First, let's eat. They returned to the tower to have breakfast. All right, shall we go find Blackie now? Gathering his companions, Sejun crossed the dimensional gate once again. And then, oh flamey, Hello, Sejun Nim. Flamey was waiting for Sejun in Ariel. Your stamina's recovered. Yes. Flamey's power remains the same. Maybe it's because she's a plant. Sejun carefully placed Flamey, whose strength remained intact, on his palm. Flamey, it's dangerous here, so wait at the tower. I'll bring Blackie and come back. He tried to send her back to the tower, but... Sejun Nim, I have a request. Flamey urgently pleaded with Sejun. A request? Sejun halted his movements at Flamey's words. I'm saved. Flamey, who had stopped Sejun, sighed in relief. If Flamey returned to the tower, her power would spread, and it would put everyone in danger. No, the Black Tower itself might collapse. In truth, the Flamey on Sejun's palm wasn't just an avatar, it was her true body. I get to be with Sejun Nim, so I came as my true self. She had risked everything to come in person to meet Sejun. Yes, please help me find something here that can help me become a world tree. The real reason was to become a tree of creation, but Flamey had to lie and say it was to become a world tree because Sejun must not know the truth. Of course, I'll help you. Sejun had always felt bad that Flamey couldn't become a world tree, so he readily agreed. Thus, having reunited after a long time, Sejun and his companions began exploring Ariel to help Flamey become a world tree and to find the Blackie family. Stop. Hand over your stuff. They were attacked here and there by bandits of Ariel, but... Hiya. Kyung. They were easily subdued by Sejun and Kyungi. Hut received the stamp meow. Theo stamped them, making them full-time employees of Sejun Company. Meanwhile, where is it? Flamey focused her mind to locate the source that enforced the law of Ariel. Destroying this twisted law was also essential to turning the wasteland into fertile land. As they continued to move, rumble, the ground began to tremble, and soon a massive stone ball came rolling rapidly toward them. It came to a precise stop right in front of Sejun. Kilahit Kang. Butler. Blackie called out to Sejun from atop the stone ball and leapt off. Plop. Landing nimbly on all fours. Isn't Great Blackie so cool? Blackie tilted his head proudly, showing off. He could control his strength skillfully, so unlike Sejun, he didn't cause trouble to his surroundings. But where did the others go? Seeing no one else besides Blackie, Sejun asked. Kilahit Kang. They went to handle something, so just wait a bit. Great Blackie will make them all kneel before Butler. Blackie answered proudly, but it basically meant they went to cause trouble. But what's that stone? Sejun asked while looking at the giant stone ball. Kilahit Kang. Stupid Butler, this is the stone ball you gave me. Blackie mocked Sejun for asking such a stupid question. I gave this. As Sejun took a closer look at the stone ball, unfinished planet core, currently being diligently rolled and crafted by the third apostle of creation, Park Blackie. After rolling 35,149,120,381 times, the planet will be completed. Creator Park Sejun, Tower Farmer of the Black Tower. Grade A. Sejun saw his own name listed as the creator. Guess I really did make it. Sejun didn't know, but the stone ball created using the talent, Planet Creator, was absorbing the surrounding land as it rolled, gradually transforming itself into a planet. It wasn't called a planet core for nothing. At that moment, Sejun Nim, I found it. Flamey, who had discovered the source of the law, shouted out. Really, where is it? To the east from here. Then let's go right away. Just as Sejun was about to set off. Kilahit Kang. Butler, Great Blackie will give you a ride. SSSRRRK. Blackie increased his size. For a being with great power like Blackie, increasing his size was as easy as eating roasted and dried sweet potatoes while lying down. Oh, thanks. Kilahit Kang. Hold on tight. With that, Blackie carried Sejun and the companions on his back and began to run. Whoosh! With a single stride from Blackie, Sejun and his companions instantly traveled hundreds of kilometers. Here it is. They arrived at the source of the law, surrounded by 4 beasts each about the size of a hand. To the east, a blue salamander, to the west, a white leopard, to the north, a black turtle the size of a fist, and to the south, a red eagle. Though they weren't large, the energy they gave off was unusual. Are they like the 4 guardian beasts? You all wait here. Let's go, guys. Kyung. Kaying. After dropping off Theo, Iona, Flamey, and Peacebees in a safe place, Sejun moved forward with Kyungi and Blackie. It was 3 versus 4, but they didn't feel like they'd lose. Then, guys, I'll take the leopard. Sejun charged toward the white leopard, which looked the least threatening in size. Rower. Thud, thud, thud. The leopard lunged first and swatted at Sejun with its front paw, but HMPH, this isn't enough to stop me. Having endured countless crises and hardened his resilience, Sejun charged forward while taking the hit. Grab, and put the leopard in a headlock. Then, purr, purr. The leopard suddenly began to purr. Hug, 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 hug. Great Hybrid Chairman Park's knees are only mine, meow. At the same time, Theo ran in a state of 6-stage rage and clung to Sejun's knees. Meanwhile, Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, my name is Kyungi. Kyungi was introducing himself to the turtle. Kilahit Kaying Kaying. He, come play with Great Blackie. Go fetch Great Blackie's stone ball. Blackie ordered the salamander, an eagle, to go retrieve the stone ball. And then, so that's how it was. Standing before the skull, which was the source of the law, Flamey read its memories and discovered why the law the weak become strong, the strong become weak, came to be. 300 years ago, the archmage of Ariel, Krishnak. She didn't have many days left to live, but she had one major concern: the 4 animals she had raised like her own children. So, wishing for their happiness, she used all of her knowledge, wealth, and magic power to alter the world, so that the weak would become strong, and the strong would become weak. This way, her beloved animals wouldn't be hunted. But that did not bring happiness to anyone. The 4 animals became too strong and no one could approach them. For 300 years they lived in loneliness. And the entire food chain of Ariel collapsed. Krishnak, your heart was in the right place, but your method was not. It's time to return everything to how it was. As Flamey placed a leaf on the skull. Crackle. The skull crumbled, and the law the weak become strong, the strong become weak disappeared with it. And then, I pledge my loyalty to Sejun Nim, K. Kurug. Sharaleng. A crisis came upon Blackie's subordinates, who had gone causing trouble, saying they would make everyone kneel before Sejun. Chapter 667, Sleep early or you won't grow tall. Ariel. Stop right there. If I catch you, you're finished. Ko. Save me. Karurur, who had been causing trouble with his increased strength, was now running away from the residents of Ariel as his power had weakened and the situation had reversed. However, no matter how hard Karurur flapped his wings, he was slower than the residents. Got you. Eventually, Karurur was caught. Just then, Puhu-hut, stop right there, meow. Karurur is our Sejun Company Vice President, meow. Theo, who was hanging onto Sejun's legs as they moved with Kyungi's telekinesis, shouted boldly. Beside him were Mubelchil, Mukbupil, and Bisugu, who had been rescued earlier. For reference, the Sejun Company's hierarchy went: Chairman Sejun, Vice Chairman Theo, then 10 presidents: Flamey, Black Rabbit, Kyungi, Peacebees, Toryong, Blackie, Iona, Sweetie, Pinkfur, and Minotaur King. Below them were 100 vice presidents, including Blackie's subordinates. Of course, since Sejun and Theo assigned titles however they pleased, many didn't even know their own ranks. And then, I'm a vice president. That's such a high position. Today was the first time Vice President Karurur found out that he was a vice president. Caw. Let go of me, you fools. Do you have any idea who I am? Quiet. Quack. Trying to assert his authority as a vice president to the aerial resident who had caught him, Karurur was promptly choked. Pew Hugh Hut, you bullied our vice president Karurur, you must be stamped, meow. Thanks to this, Theo found justification to use his stamp. Bam bam. Knocking out the aerial residents. Thud thud. He stamped them. As the weak become strong, the strong become weak rule vanished. Theo regained his strength. Like a fish in water, Theo enthusiastically stamped the aerial residents chasing the Blackie family. Though the Blackie family had started it and were simply reaping what they sowed. Pew Hugh Hut. I don't care about that, meow. That's for them to sort out amongst themselves, meow. All that mattered to Theo was that he had the chance to stamp. And then, he. As expected, this role suits Theo Opa best. Flamey watched the scene unfold with a giggle. Even though the weak become strong, the strong become weak rule was gone. She stayed by Sejun's side. Thank you, Krishnak Nim. Thanks to you, I've found a way to stay by Sejun's side. Flamey had recreated the rule Krishnak, created in a way that worked to her advantage. She created and used the law tree of creation weakens when holding breath and power. Frail pretty girl. By using the two together, even as a tree of creation, I should be able to stay by Sejun's side for about an hour per month. Even with her reduced strength, which appeared to be world tree level, Flamey was very satisfied with her new ability. Of course, she was embarrassed to reveal her massive body to Sejun, so she insisted she was still her current size, even as a world tree. Pew Hugh Hut, I've stamped them all, meow. As Theo finished stamping, Kaiwat, I think we should head over there next. Eamdal is getting hit. Ona, who had assessed the scattered situation of the Blackie family, using magic, spoke. Really, Kyungi, that way? Kyung. At the mention of Eamdal being beaten, Sejun and his group quickly flew off. Pew Hugh Hut, you must be stamped, meow. And another group of victims emerged. Thud thud. While Theo was stamping the residents who had beaten up Eamdal. Clank. The void storage opened quietly. Perk. At the same time, Theo's ears perked up, sensing danger. Kyung. At the same time, a white leopard who had been lying in wait inside the void storage sprang out and leapt towards Sejun's lap. Whoosh. Hawk, Beaktang, that's a no-no, meow. Great Hybrid Chairman Park's lap is exclusively mine, Vice Chairman Theo's, meow. Theo quickly used light speed meow step to jump onto Sejun's lap and hissed at the white leopard Beaktang. Then, Kyung. Exclusive, what's that? Not understanding the word exclusive, Beaktang tilted his head in confusion. Pew Hugh Hut. Exclusive means Chairman Park's lap belongs to me, meow. I Vice Chairman Theo earned it by working hard, meow. Theo explained proudly to Beaktang. Kyung. Beaktang drooped his ears in gloom and returned to the void storage. Nying. Peebok. Jack. The other friends inside the void storage comforted the dejected Beaktang. Sejun had heard from Flamey about Krishnak's story and was now helping find a safe place where the 4 animals Krishnak had raised, referred to collectively as Krishnak's 4 beasts, could live peacefully and make many friends. A little later, Kaiwat, this time it's over there, Shari is being chased. Sejun and his group took off to rescue Shari. Creator God's temple. So this is how it happened. The Creator God could learn more details about how the next Creator God became destruction by looking at the completed pictures. There were many unfinished paintings as well, but the context allowed for understanding. The initial lie that began with hiding the puzzle piece. Like a drop of black ink in clear water, it darkened the heart of the next Creator God. And the guilt of deceiving others eventually turned into a thrill for the next Creator God. In the paintings, a sinister red snake appeared next to the next Creator God, flicking its tongue and whispering sweet words egging him on. That must be corruption. Even beyond the paintings, the ominous feeling was palpable. The creator god, having confirmed the paintings, approached one of the temple's pillars. Here it is. Creator god is stupid and dumb. He found a scribble written by the next creator god after getting scolded. Then, SRRRK. The graffiti glowed and disappeared, and CHWRRRU. The image changed to the next creator god, angrily scribbling on the pillar while listening to the snake's whisper. Then the picture changed again, showing the next creator god and the creator god scribbling together on the pillar, and eventually drawing on each other's faces while smiling happily. This is much better. A smile appeared on the face of the creator god as he viewed the painting. Land of Destruction. While the creator god was changing the scenes in the painting, a fragment of consciousness detached from destruction. And the consciousness, split from destruction's heart, hurriedly hid. Kehehe, hide well or I'll find you. Thump thump. Corruption, which had completely taken over destruction's body, wandered the area, searching for the hidden consciousness. Still not fully surrendered, the purity that destruction couldn't abandon until the end. If only that purity were conquered, corruption would no longer bring about passive destruction, but active and deliberate annihilation of the world. Then, Kehehe found you. There you are. Corruption curled its lips upward and leaned its face next to the hiding place of the consciousness. This is bad, what do I do? Terrified, thinking it had been discovered, the consciousness tightly covered its mouth with both hands. But, that Park Sejun guy, how does he possess the primordial power? The one corruption had found was Sejun. What a bother! The primordial power was the opposite of corruption. If it grew stronger, it would become a real nuisance. At least it's a relief, he's from a level 1 world. Corruption felt reassured by the fact that Sejun originated from a level 1 world. Kehehe, just you wait. If I catch you, I'll tear you to shreds. Corruption began searching for the fragments of consciousness again. No, in truth, corruption already knew exactly where they were hiding. It just chose not to catch them right away, wandering around and instilling fear instead. Because fear was the most effective way to break a consciousness. Kehehe, where could you be? Thump thump. Corruption deliberately circled the area where the fleeing fragments were hiding, amplifying the atmosphere of fear. Ariel. I'm full. Pew Hugh Hut, that was a good meal, meow. Kaiwat, same here. Qeha. With only the rescue of Jackie from the Blackie family remaining, Sejun and his group had lunch and took a brief rest. According to Yona, Jackie was camouflaged as an amethyst and was safe for the time being. Kilahit Kaying. You guys come here. Kayong. Nying Nyong. Pibok. Jack. Meanwhile, the Blackie family had surrounded Krishnak's 4 beasts, establishing dominance and trying to set the tone. Although the Blackie family was far weaker than the 4 beasts, who came from a level 9 world. Kaying. I am Great Blackie, state your names and ages. Kayong. My name is Beektang, I am 305 years old. Nying Nyong. My name is Ching Nyong, I am 304 years old. Pibok. My name is Hukbuk, I am 303 years old. Jack. My name is Jiakbai, I am 301 years old. Overwhelmed by the Blackie family's excessive confidence, the 4 beasts, despite being capable of defeating them in one hit, became intimidated and obediently responded. Kilahit Kaying. Now abandon your old names. From now on, your new names from the butler. Just as Blackie was about to give the 4 beasts their new names, bestowed by Sejun. Blackie. Sejun called out to him. Dedada. Kilahit Kaying. Butler, did you call Great Blackie? Wagging his tail vigorously, Blackie dashed over to Sejun. Yeah, don't bully them and behave. Kaying. Caught by Sejun, he was confined to the sling bag. Thanks to that, the four beasts were able to keep the names Krishnak had given them and enjoyed a peaceful moment. Let's see how much weight our Blackie has lost. As Sejun touched Blackie's belly to check his weight loss. Kilahit kaying. He butler, touch it, you're allowed to touch it. Blackie proudly stuck out his belly more, helping Sejun get a good feel. And then, squish. Blackie's soft pink belly that could be pinched about 1 finger thickness. It's reduced quite a bit. You can stop dieting now. Sejun lifted the diet restriction. Since Blackie was playing around rolling the stone ball anyway, there wasn't much need for dieting. Kilahit kaying. Really? Butler, then give me roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Give me 20. Immediately trying to binge eat upon hearing the end of the diet. Nope. Sejun stopped him and gave him just a small piece of roasted and dried sweet potato. If he gave as much as requested, Blackie would instantly turn into a black piggy again. Kilahit. Delicious. While Blackie was enjoying the small piece of roasted and dried sweet potato. Sneak. Beak then cautiously approached Sejun's lap. However, Hawk, go away, meow. Kayong. He was blocked again by Theo, who was fiercely defending Sejun's lap. A little later. Jackie, let's go. Kilahit kaying. Jackie, Great Blackie has come to save you. Sejun Nim, Great Blackie Nim, you've come to rescue me. Sejun and the group rescued Jackie, who had disguised himself as an amethyst and was hiding in a treasure chest. Who's there? Thieves. There was some commotion during the process, but Hut stamped them, meow. As always, Theo resolved it neatly, by recruiting them into Sejun company with his stamp. With that, Sejun and his group successfully rescued all members of the Blackie family who had been on the run. Let's go home for now. It was time for dinner, so they crossed the dimensional gate and returned home. After eating dinner prepared by Sejun number 12 and getting ready for bed. Over here. The tracks lead this way. Soldiers from Ariel, who had followed the trail of the fleeing Blackie family, crossed the dimensional gate and invaded the 99th floor of the Black Tower. But, Kyung. It's my Kyungi's bedtime. If he slept late, he won't grow tall. When Kyungi's sleep was disturbed, the enraged pink fur covered Kyungi's ears and roared and, run away. Retreat. Terrified by Pink Fur's overwhelming roar, the Ariel residents panicked and quickly fled back through the dimensional gate. Chapter 668, I Don't Want to Go to School. The main base of the Camel pirate crew, Grandra. You're saying we've lost contact with the ships in the 375th dimensional sea. Yes, the last report said they were heading for a rescue, and then communication was lost. The bored-looking leader of the Camel pirate crew, Grand Pirate Camus, was answered by his lieutenant in an excited voice. Every time Camus was steeped in boredom like this, he moved personally, and each time a storm of blood would follow. And then, this sounds fun. I was just bored. This works out well. Prepare the ship. We depart immediately. Preparations are already complete. Let's go right away. Good. At the words of the lieutenant, who had anticipated this situation, Camus stood up with a smirk. He beheaded the lieutenant without warning. Trying to predict me, I don't like that. We're departing. Yes. The main force of the Camel pirate crew set sail toward the 375th dimensional sea where Earth was located. Grand Pirate Camus, leader of the Camel pirate crew. His unofficial title was Camus, the Butcher of Whim. Early morning, on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Snore. Gororong. Kirorong. Kirorong. Sejun and his companions were sleeping peacefully together. Then, sneak. Beak then quietly, ever so carefully approached Sejun's knee. Nice, I'm almost there. Perhaps because he was asleep, Theo didn't open his eyes even though just one more step would have gotten Beektang on Sejun's knee. And just as Beektang extended his front paw, about to climb Sejun's knee. Success. Slap. Kyung. Without opening his eyes, Theo precisely smacked Beektang's paw with his own and then hit Beektang's head right away. Gorarung. Though clearly asleep, Theo reflexively guarded Sejun's knee like an impenetrable wall. What a scary Hyung. Kyung. It hurts. Beektang gave up on Sejun's knee, feeling dejected, and nestled as closely as possible against Sejun's foot, closing his eyes. A little while later. All right. Unaware of the fierce battle for the knee that had occurred, Sejun woke up from deep sleep. Jerorong. Huh. Beektang. He found Beektang sleeping soundly with his face buried in the sole of his foot. I even gave him a room, so why is he sleeping here, and specifically against my foot? Sejun had given the room next door, where Piat and Urine stayed to them, but he couldn't understand why Beektang chose to sleep while smelling his foot. It was actually Beektang's fallback plan after failing to win the battle for the knee, but Sejun had no way of knowing that. Of course, Theo, who had been Beektang's opponent in that battle, was also unaware of it. Only Beektang knew the truth. Meow. Kaying. After tending to the Theo couple and the Blackie family. Kyung. Sejun moved Beektang to a bed where the other beasts were still sleeping soundly and stepped outside. Then, clang. He entered his void storage to check on the Calamity Farm, and while hunting the white locust and other final, evolved forms of calamities. I wonder if Flamey made it safely. Sejun thought of Flamey, who had left for the World Tree School yesterday, with a worried voice. As Flamey became a World Tree, her power to appear before Sejun grew stronger, and she could no longer use the excuse that she needed rest. She needed a new reason to leave Sejun's side. So she made up a new lie that she had to attend World Tree School. No, it wasn't really a lie. Starting tomorrow, I will open World Tree School. World Trees prepare for admission. Because the World Tree School actually came into existence. Flamey didn't want to lie to Sejun, so she personally founded the school. Although she wasn't a student but the principal, she only said she was going to the school, so it wasn't a lie. Pottery Nim, what do? I don't want to go to school. Sausage, who had to enroll in World Tree School, whined about not wanting to go to school. You must go. It'll be painful if you go, but if you don't, it'll become so painful you'll wish you were dead. Pottery gave Sausage some very realistic advice, born from first-hand experience. A little while later. He is everyone here, then let's begin. I should ask Sejun Nim to name the school later. Feeling really good after meeting Sejun yesterday, Flamey gathered the world trees and began the entrance ceremony. Just a little more and it'll be over. At the same time, Flamey number 290 was transforming Ariel into a land brimming with life. The fourth trial to become a tree of creation was nearly complete. Thump thump. While walking through the farm on the 99th floor of the tower after finishing the hunt in the Calamity Farm, Sejun was approached by Pinkfur carrying Kyungi in her mouth. Kyung. Good morning, Sejun Nim. Yeah, good morning to you too, Pinkfur. Pinkfur greeted him and handed Kyungi over to Sejun, and the two naturally turned their steps toward the kitchen. Sejun entered the kitchen and cooking. He created choco pies previously prepared by Sejun number 12 and filled Pinkfur's snack pouch to the brim. Here, take this. He handed it to Pinkfur. Kyung. Thank you. Thump thump. With a happy expression, Pinkfur slung the snack pouch over her shoulder and went off for special training. Cooking. Sejun continued producing seaweed soup and choco pies to send to Ailing. After a short while, Hut, Chairman Park, I'm hungry, meow. I'm grilling fish, so wait. Kyung. Hey, Dad, Kyungi's hungry. Yeah, let's eat once the grilled fish is done. Hut, Kaying. Butler, feed me now. One by one, the group began waking up and whining about being hungry. All done, Kyungi, go bring the others. Kyung. Got it. At Sejun's command, Kyungi quickly flew off and brought the guardian beasts, who had been playing on the bed. All right, let's eat. Sejun had breakfast with his companions. You all eat plenty too. Kyung. Nyamdium. Pug pug. Jajak jajak. The guardian beasts decided to stay in the tower for the time being, until a proper place to live could be found. Originally, the plan was to find a place for them in Ariel, but Iona, Pinkfur, and others concluded that the guardian beasts were still too weak to survive there. Krishnek hadn't worried for nothing. And so, after breakfast, slurp. Ah, this is nice. Sejun happily sipped the coffee Kyungi had brewed. Puhuhut. Kyuhiha. Kivihit. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie settled into their spots with content expressions. The guardian beasts also huddled together and rested, but I want to steal it. Only Beektang stared intensely at Sejun's knee, burning with resolve. Hug. Of course, when Theo hissed in warning. Kyung. Beektang instantly lost his courage and turned away. Theo usually went around smiling like an idiot, but when protecting the knee, he was frightening. A little later. Well, we're heading off to work now, so you guys rest here. Leaving the guardian beasts at home, Sejun moved to the 10th floor of the tower and planted crop seeds. All done, let's eat. After lunch. All right, time to get back to work. He headed to the Camule Disiong and planted seeds of destruction pioneers and destruction devourers. At that moment, you have completed the quest. As a reward for completing the quest, you have obtained 1 million drops of Great Growth Elixir. A message appeared in front of Sejun, and 5,000 glass bottles filled with red liquid appeared. Emila had fulfilled her quota. I'll store them in the void storage for now. Sejun stored the bottles in the void storage. Wow, how many bottles is this? He proudly looked at the 20,000 glass bottles, each containing 200 drops, neatly displayed on the shelves. Ah, I should drink some though. Despite having a total of 4 million drops of Great Growth Elixir, he felt guilty for not drinking them. Honestly, no matter how sick he was of the strawberry flavor, he could just close his eyes and gulp it down, or mix it with strawberries to make strawberry juice. But there was something holding him back. I should go home once. Sejun hesitated because once his stats increased from drinking the Great Growth Elixir, the stay fee would increase as well. Honestly, compared to the other companions, Sejun's stay fee was like a speck of dust, so drinking the Great Growth Elixir wouldn't significantly increase it, but Sejun, overestimating himself, was worried anyway. After finishing his work at Camule Disiong and returning home, we greet the boss and Sejun Nim. The black bears of the Kyung faction rushed over and bowed at a 90-degree angle to Sejun and Kyungi. Kyung, what are you guys doing here? Sejun Nim's friend, Oh Kyung-chul, asked us to deliver this to Sejun Nim. Kyung-chul. Yes. Black Bear number 1 handed Sejun an envelope made of luxurious-looking paper. What is this? I have a really bad feeling about this. Sejun frowned at the high-end envelope. The Kyung-chul he knew wasn't someone who'd send such a fancy envelope. No, he wasn't even the type to use envelopes at all. And when he opened the envelope and checked the paper inside, two who once walked different paths now wish to walk one together. Please come and bless the journey of Oh Kyung-chul and Choi Mina as they embark on their journey. Date 2024. Location, Nanhyondong Gangnam-gu, Seoul. Sejun immediately understood why he had felt such foreboding. With Santa Sejun's Christmas gift, Kyung-chul had managed to get married. Kyung-chul is getting married. Kyung-chul, who's uglier than me. Before me. As Sejun's face filled with envy and jealousy. Meow, Chairman Park, your face is rotting, meow. Stomp, stomp. Theo quickly climbed onto Sejun's face and stomped on it with his front paws. A faint glow meant money was being burned. Kyuihe. Kivihit. Following Theo, Kyungi and Blackie also began stomping on Sejun's face. Being trampled by the three brought peace to Sejun's heart. I was planning to go to Earth anyway. So when the date? He checked the wedding date. What? It's tomorrow evening. What? Why give me the invitation this late? He flared up again. But it was Kyung-chul's fault. Kyung-chul had entrusted the invitation to the Black Bears 3 months ago, but they'd gone off on tangents along the way and only now arrived. First, I'll pay the congratulatory money in tower coins. And the wedding gift will be great growth elixir. I don't have anything to wear for the wedding. He did have the suit he wore at the Black Rabbit wedding, but that style didn't match Earth's fashion. Guess I'll have to buy clothes on Earth. I'll leave early tomorrow morning. Haha, Kyungi, let's go eat Grandma's kimchi stew on Earth tomorrow morning. Kyueha Kyung. Haha, sounds good. Kyungi cheered at Sejun's words. Pew hut. Has the time come for Chairman Park's chairman's knee to be conquered once again? Meow. Theo got excited at the idea of going to Earth and climbing on Sejun's father, Park Chun-ho's, knee to show off. Killahit Kaying. Tomorrow with great Blackie's charm, I'll win over the butler's mom. Blackie was fired up, planning to melt Sejun's mother Kim Miran with his cuteness. When Sejun and his companions' trip to Earth was suddenly decided due to Kyung-chul's wedding. Pio, how much farther to Earth now? At this speed, we should arrive smoothly within 10 hours. Yuhe, I want to hurry and eat the food Sejun Nim makes. Mohe, I want to feast on Sejun Nim's misfortune after so long. The pirate ship carrying Piat, Urin, and Poyo was also heading toward Earth. At this rate, it seemed like the pirate ship might arrive before Sejun. But that was only if everything went smoothly. 10 enemy ships detected behind us. 20, 30, they're still increasing. With Misfortune King Urin on board, a smooth voyage was, of course, impossible. From Earth's perspective, it was a huge relief that Theo would arrive before Urin. Chapter 669, Why Don't I Have Any Friends? 99th floor of the Black Tower. Pip, good evening, everyone. Peacebees woke up and began his activities, while everyone else was sleeping in the bedroom. Gorarong. Kurarong. Pipiararong te kirarong. Pip. Among those sounds, a strange noise reached Peacebee's ears. Pipiararong. Pip, brother Hugh Walbach. Did he run away here again? Black Rabbit, the king of the Red Ribbon Kingdom on the 55th floor of the Black Tower, was sleeping sprawled out on Sejun's belly. Sejun had asked Black Rabbit through Aileen in the evening if he wanted to go to Earth and... Pipayak. Honey, my uncle suddenly called me, so I'm going for a quick visit. Thinking he could leave the kingdom for a while, Hugh Walbach had sprinted through the night. Or rather, he fled. Hugh Walbach was still afraid of the dark. And then... Kaying. So that he wouldn't be pushed off by Hugh Walbach's foot, Blackie was clinging tightly to Sejun's chest, desperately hanging on. Fortunately, even in an unconscious state, Blackie did not pull out his dragon claws. Peepata. Our Blackie is so cute. Peacebees giggled at the sight, then turned Black Rabbit's sleeping position so Blackie wouldn't be pushed away. Then, as usual, he went to the kitchen to fill his stomach with the sweet fruit lunchbox Sejun had prepared. Pip, what is that? Next to Peacebees' fruit lunchbox was a note left by Sejun. Peacebees checked the note. Peacebees, I'm going to Earth tomorrow for a friend's wedding, so don't wander too far. Going to Earth. So that's why Hugh Walbach is sleeping here. He could now understand why Black Rabbit was sleeping on the 99th floor of the tower. Slurp. After reading the note, Peacebees eagerly sucked the juice from the fruit, filling his belly. Pip, for a wedding, you need a congratulatory song, right? He started composing a wedding song. Our love cannot be stopped by dimensions. Even from afar, we can know and find each other. Composed and written by Park Peacebees. It showed signs of becoming an eternal wedding song, beloved across all dimensions. However, Pipaha, I should ask Sejun to name the song, because I'm terrible at naming. It seemed the song's impact would be greatly reduced due to the title. Thus, in just 2 hours, the genius Peacebees finished both lyrics and composition. Flap flap. It had been a while since he did a patrol around the area. Kuahaha, Peacebees, you're up. Come here and have some of this. The dragons of the 9 Dragons Council, who were drinking, called Peacebees over and offered him some fruit snacks. Pipaha, thank you. Peacebees picked up a slice of watermelon and sat next to the dragon statues. And then, slurp, slurp, slurp. He quietly eavesdropped on the great dragon's conversation while sucking the juice from the watermelon, which was as big as him. Most of it was just prideful arguments, but, a legendary merchant has been born in the White Tower. Pipaha, Big Brother will be happy to hear this. A new world called Torres has connected to the Purple Tower. Occasionally, there was useful information too. Thus, Peacebees, having gathered plenty of intel while eating watermelon comfortably beside the dragons. Pip Pip, thank you for the food. Gave his thanks to the dragons. Flap flap. And moved elsewhere. This time, he went to where the Minotaur King was. Moo. During the day, the Minotaur King helped train Pinkfur and the other black Minotaurs. Now, he was training alone at night. Pip Pip, Minotaur Kingdom, have some of this before you continue. Peacebees brought over some of the grass piled up in the field for the Minotaur King. Crunch. Moo moo. Thank you, let's see your skills. Pip Pip, yes. Fusion skill of Peas Rush and Peas Spin Rush. Chomp. Moo moo. With the skills combined, it became a half-baked move with weak spin and propulsion. Try again while minimizing wing resistance. Pip Pip. The Minotaur King munched on the grass given by Peacebees as he gave feedback on Peacebees' skill. Moo. Then I suppose you need to train again. Pip Pip, thank you. While the Minotaur King finished eating the grass, Peacebees received a personal training session from him. Flap flap. This time, Peacebees stopped by the mushroom ant's nest to check if everything was in order. Everything's fine here. After confirming that the mushroom ants were sleeping soundly piled on top of each other. Next, Peacebees checked the place where Pinkfur and Kyungi were sleeping. Kurarung. Kuhiha. Pipaha. Looks like Brother Kyungi is having a good dream. Kyungi smiled happily in his sleep, nestled in Pinkfur's arms. Once the patrol within a 5 km radius centered around Sejun's house was completed. Pip Pip, about 2 hours left until morning, Peas Rush. Peacebees sped up to quickly check more distant places. Starting from the Wizard Tower with the fire ant nest in the south, Peacebees moved clockwise to Kyungi's herb field in the west, to the place black minotaurs lived in the north, and the hive of the honeybees in the east. Pip Pip, all clear. With the patrol of the 99th floor of the Black Tower completed, Peacebees, with a satisfied expression, took his place on Sejun's shoulder. Gorarung. Kurarung. Pipiararung. Berarung. Kekirarung. Soon, Peacebees' snoring mixed with the rest of the group's snoring. A short while later. All right. Sejun, who had been apologizing earnestly in Blackie's mental world, opened his eyes energetically. Dimensional C, 375th area. P.O. Messenger Bird secret technique, breaking through the enemy lines. Uiha, I the great strategic weapon Urin am here. Moiha, the stinging sandstorm. Piat, Urin, and Poyo freely moved around the enemy ships, subduing the pirates and sinking their ships. The ship they were on was already sinking, but the three weren't worried. They still had the final remaining ship to use. While they were fighting the enemies. You interesting bunch, I Keska shall face you. Keska, the king who brings misfortune, and lowest ranked among the 10 kings under Camus, appeared. Feel the misfortune. Keska cast misfortune on Piat, Urin, and Poyo. Pio. I suddenly feel weak. Piat struggled under Keska's misfortune, but Yuhiha, I suddenly feel overflowing with strength. Urin, who possessed the divine relic misfortune-swallowing amulet, became even stronger. Moihehe, what is this? I feel like I'm getting drunk. Poyo was delighted by the misfortune that seemed to seep into his entire body, rather than just through his mouth. And then, Yuhihe, that level of misfortune only makes me stronger. Boom. Gah. Keska, the king of misfortune, was easily taken down by Urin's body slam. Not bad, then I, the ninth king, king of fire pyre, will. Pio. Messenger bird's ultimate technique, full sky feathers. Following that, the ninth king fell to Piat's attack. Moihe sandstorm. The eighth king fell to Poyo's attack. Then, as the seventh, sixth, and fifth kings appeared, they were also defeated as soon as they showed up. You're good, but this is where it ends. Fifth king Heath the Slayer blocked their path. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Then I'll be going now. As Sejun announced his departure to Earth, the great dragons and others saw him off. This to buy something delicious when you get there. The great dragons pulled off a few of their own scales and gave them to Sejun. If anyone bothers you, just say the word. I'll descend personally. Even if it gets dangerous, tell us. We'll come immediately. They didn't forget to leave him with words of caution. Although Sejun had already surpassed the level 1 world Earth by several levels, in the dragon's eyes, he still looked weak and insignificant. Yes, I understand. If you come, I'm the first one who will die. Sejun, despite what he was thinking in his head, spoke differently and simply accepted the sincere gifts from the great dragons. And then, Aileen, I'll be back. When Sejun spoke to Aileen, the tower's administrator says in a gloomy voice that she's upset she can't go with you. Aileen was sad that she couldn't go along. Sejun considered giving Aileen the divine relic of Nachu, the god of nature, to let her use the transcendental power, natural state. Probably won't work. Yeah, that level of power can't forcibly override a great dragon's ability. Besides, even if it did work, bloodline is a natural thing, so it wouldn't help much. After hearing the answers from the dragons of the 9 Dragons Council, he gave up on the idea. For reference, Aileen's 1-hour stay fee, which had been 1,000 quadrillion, was now unmeasurable. Aileen had grown much stronger in the meantime by eating Sejun's crops and dishes. It's okay, we can go to another wedding together later. I have lots of friends, Kyung-chul and Sejun comforted the saddened Aileen. Kyung-chul and there's no one else. Why don't I have any friends? Instead, Sejun found himself getting hurt. He, who had been a complete outsider, was only now realizing that he didn't have any friends. Maybe that's why he was able to survive so well even when stranded alone on the 99th floor of the tower. Pew Hut, don't be too sad, great hybrid chairman Park meow. You have me vice chairman Theo right meow. Kueha Kuang. Heta dad has Kuangi. Grrr Kaying. Grrr Butler, you have great Blackie, what's the problem? Theo, Kuangi, and Blackie comforted Sejun in their own ways. Thanks to that, Sejun recovered mentally. Guys, go in. After putting his companions into the void storage and stepping onto the waypoint, the tower's administrator says she already told Mother you're coming. Aileen informed him that she had already let Sejun's mother know he'd be coming home. Yeah, thanks Aileen, I'm heading off now. Expressing his gratitude to Aileen, Sejun moved to the first floor of the tower. Clack. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I missed you meow. Wearing Theo on his knee as he exited the void storage and suppressing his aura, Sejun crossed the tower's shopping street on the first floor to head toward the exclusive passage. I heard Kyung-chul, Earth's Strongest, is getting married today. I wonder what the bride of the Earth's Strongest looks like. I heard she's the eldest daughter of a chaebol family. Not only is she pretty and capable, but even at only 25 years old, she's running a startup valued at 10 trillion won. Those were the words about Kyung-chul's wife that reached Sejun's ears. Hehe, that rascal Kyung-chul, he's become the son-in-law of a chaebol family. He's totally going to be under their thumb. Sejun mocked Kyung-chul. He himself was a much more extreme case of a son-in-law, but he didn't realize it. After all, people rarely perceive their own situations objectively, unaware that it was the pot calling the kettle black. I'm going to tease him. Sejun, excited at the thought of teasing Kyung-chul, hurried toward the exclusive passage. Time was tight if he wanted to eat at home, and stopped by a store to buy some clothes. Sejun arrived at the exclusive passage. Clicking. He placed his hand on the black hole, and there are currently 3 destinations available. Please choose your destination. Earth LV 1. Hamk LV 7. Bix LV 8. Earth. Currently, there are 18 individuals requesting to use the exclusive passage. Would you like to pay the stay fee for all 18 and move to the 0th floor of the Black Tower Earth? Yes. Sejun began calculating the stay fees for himself and his companions, calculating the stay fee based on the stats and rank of Park Theo, the lucky legendary merchant of the Black Tower. Theo, 5,000 quadrillion tower coins. Calculating the stay fee of Yona, the great destructive wizard of the Black Tower. Yona, 2,000 quadrillion tower coins. Calculating the stay fee of Hugh Walbach, king of the Red Ribbon Kingdom of the Black Tower. Hugh Walbach, 5,000 trillion tower coins. Calculating the stay fee of Park Kyungi, advanced herbalist of the Black Tower. Kyungi, 7,000 quadrillion tower coins. Considering the stats and rank of Park Blackie. Blackie family, 1,000 quadrillion tower coins. Though their strength was low, the stay fee was high due to their bloodline. Calculating the stay fee based on the stats and rank of Park Sejun, tower farmer of the Black Tower. The stay fee is 30 billion tower coins per hour. Finally, the calculation of Sejun's stay fee was completed. Though Sejun had grown considerably stronger, he was still the cheapest among the group. The stay fee is reduced by 68.3002%. After applying the reduction, the final stay fee came to about 4750 quadrillion tower coins. With your current funds, you can stay on Earth for 10 hours. Thus, the time Sejun and his companions could stay on Earth was determined, moving to Earth. Sejun and his companions moved to Earth. Chapter 670. You know our family is a household with some noble roots, right? Earth. Ding dong. When the doorbell of Sejun's house rang. Clank. The door opened without even checking who rang the bell through the intercom. And then, oh my bobbies are here. Kim Mi-ran, Sejun's mother, came running out in a hurry. With a bright smile, she welcomed Sejun's group. Pew hut, that's right meow, Kim Mi-ran, I've come meow. Pipayak. Hello. Kyuehe kyuong. Hehe, grandma, how have you been? Kyungi is here. Pip, hello. Kilahit kaying. Hee, Butler's mom, look. These are all subordinates of Great Blackie. Those who had met Kim Mi-ran before greeted her first. Of course, the only one who could actually communicate was Theo. Once the greetings from the familiar companions were over. Oh my, there are new little ones here. Kim Mi-ran, who couldn't resist anything cute, fussed over Iona and Blackie's subordinates. Kaiwat. Hello, Sejun Nim's mother, I'm Yona. Hello. K. Kuruk. Sharaleng. Yona and Blackie's subordinates also greeted Kim Mi-ran. Ho, nice to meet you. Kim Mi-ran responded with a bright laugh. Mom, your eldest son is here too. Sejun, who was treated like leftover rice, spoke with a sullen expression from behind the group. Son, you're here, come on in. Kim Mi-ran coolly acknowledged him and led the way into the house, with Sejun and his companions following her. As they entered the house, he saw Park Chun-ho and Sidal, who were busy setting up a huge amount of food under Kim Mi-ran's instructions. There were over 30 kinds of dishes, and each was prepared in quantities for 500 people. Considering Kyungi's appetite, it didn't seem like there would be any leftovers. "Dad, I'm home." "Welcome back." "Hyung, you're here." Sejun greeted Park Chun-ho and Sedal and helped carry the food. "All right then, let's eat." Once the meal was ready, they started eating. As expected, Mom's kimchi stew is the best. Why can't I make it taste like this?" "Kyueha kyuung." "Hehe, that's right. Grandma's kimchi stew is the best." "Pipayak." "That's right." Sejun, Kyungi, and Hyuk Walbach focused all their attention on Kim Mi-ran's kimchi stew, something they couldn't eat in the tower. "Pyu Hut, Chairman Park's chairman, give me churu meow." With Yona hanging from his tail, Theo climbed onto Park Chun-ho's knee and demanded churu. "Ho ho ho, what flavor should I give you?" Having prepared more than 20 flavors, Park Chun-ho asked with a slightly proud expression. "Pyu Hut, Chairman Park's chairman, your preparation is excellent meow. I'll try them one by one and decide meow." Theo praised Park Chun-ho's preparation. "All right then." Delighted by Theo's praise, Park Chun-ho began opening the churu packets one by one with a satisfied smile. "Kaiwat kaiwat kaiwat." "Theo Nim looks happy, so I'm happy too." Since there wasn't anything among the food Kim Mi-ran prepared that Iona could eat, she tried to eat the roasted peanuts Sejun had given her, but "Iona, try some of this." Kim Mi-ran brought over a set of nuts and offered them to Iona. The set included macadamia and pecans, which Iona had never tasted before. "Kaiwat. Such an interesting taste." Iona happily chewed and tasted the variety of nuts like she was at a buffet. "Kilahit kaying kaying kaying." Hee Butler's mom, look, great Blackie's secret move, standing on 2 feet. Blackie called out to Kim Mi-ran to show off his charm. "Oh my, our puppy is standing on 2 legs." "Kilahit kaying." I can even walk like this." Kim Mi-ran clapped for Blackie's trick. However, "Kilahit kaying." Butler's mom. Since Great Blackie did such a good job, tell the butler to give me some roasted and dried sweet potatoes. What Blackie truly wanted was only sweet potato. Using Kim Mi-ran's authority, he planned to score a lot of roasted and dried sweet potatoes. And then, "Sejun, give me some of those roasted and dried sweet potatoes." "Mom, no, Blackie just barely lost weight." "What are you talking about? I can feel nothing but bones on our puppy. Hurry up and give me the sweet potato." As expected by Blackie, Kim Mi-ran asked Sejun for some roasted and dried sweet potatoes. "Kaying kaying." "That's right, Great Blackie is allowed to eat more." Blackie also barked confidently next to Kim Mi-ran. "You cunning rascal, Blackie. You stick to Mom to get roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Just wait until we get home." "Fine." "Oh my, will our puppy eat some roasted and dried sweet potatoes?" "Kilahit." And so the delightful meal continued when Hyung, Sedal, with a serious expression on his face, called out to Sejun. "Did you get rejected again?" Sejun sneered at Sedal, as if he could tell just by the look on his face. "Who got rejected?" Sedal snapped at Sejun's teasing. However, how should I say this? Sedal soon let out a sigh and returned to his serious face, trying to figure out how to bring it up to Sejun. "What is it? Just say it." Sensing something unusual in Sedal's reaction, Sejun stopped eating and turned serious himself. At that moment, ding dong, the doorbell rang. "I'll get it." Sedal rushed out to the front door to open it. "What's going on?" "A loan shark." That couldn't be possible with the money he had sent. He's not that kind of guy either. Then what is it? Puzzled, Sejun mixed some kimchi stew into his white rice, letting the broth soak in, and took a big bite. Delicious. As Sejun enjoyed the food with a mouthful and a happy expression. "Sarang, this is my brother." Sedal entered with a woman, someone who should absolutely not be entering the house, and introduced her to Sejun. Hello, I'm Kim Sarang. The woman greeted Sejun shyly. When Moonlight Fairy Sarang, whom he had only seen on his smartphone, appeared before his eyes in person. Why is Moonlight Fairy Sarang here? And at our family breakfast, no less. Shocked, Sejun froze mid-chew and stared intently at Sarang, who was standing meekly next to Seedal. Then he realized that even though she was once his crush, his heart felt calm now. And then, haha, Aileen is way prettier than Sarang. I miss Aileen. Even with Sarang in front of him, Sejun smiled happily, thinking of Aileen. Sejun realized that Moonlight Fairy Sarang had now become just a memory for him. Ahem. It wasn't until Park Chun-ho cleared his throat that Sejun snapped out of it. Gulp. Ah, hello. He quickly swallowed the food in his mouth and responded to Sarang's greeting. Unbeknownst to Sejun, his family had grown close with the family of Kim Dong-sik, their neighbor, and through that connection, Sarang and Seedal had started seeing each other frequently. Hyung, I'm dating Sarang. They had become a couple. That's what Seedal had been serious about earlier. Wow, what? You with Sarang SSI? Though he no longer considered himself a fan, for some reason it still irritated him. Memories were precious after all. Sarang, come have breakfast too. Yes, mother. At Kim Miran's words, Sarang joined them for the meal. Kilahit Kaying. He, who are you? This noble body is great Blackie. Seeing a new face, Blackie stepped forward to assert his authority. Oh my, how cute. Thanks to him, the tense atmosphere softened. How did you two meet? So how long have you been dating? As they ate, many stories were exchanged. Then, in the middle of it all, Sidala, you do know that our family is a household with some noble roots, right? Sejun began speaking in a serious tone. Our family. Sidal looked confused, as if it were news to him. Nod. Only Park Chun-ho nodded with a pleased expression. That's why in our family, the eldest son, that's me, has to get married first before you can. Huh. So swear on your soul that you won't get married until I do. Sejun suddenly bringing up noble family lineage was all just a build-up to say this one thing. No way, who does that in this day and age? Sensing something ominous in Sejun's words, Seedal flatly refused. Shake. Park Chun-ho also shook his head, signaling not to say such nonsense. It was truly a relief. Even the gods wouldn't know when Sejun would marry Aileen. It was a complete mystery. After the meal ended, Kyungi, let's show Grandpa and Grandma your coffee skills. Kyung. Hasn't got it. Kyungi brewed some coffee. Slurp. Our Kyungi not only eats well but makes great coffee too. Wow, this coffee Kyungi made is seriously delicious. Better than what I've had in cafes. I've been to all the famous coffee spots abroad, but I've never tasted coffee this good. Everyone who tasted Kyungi's coffee was full of praise for its excellent flavor. Kyungi was delighted by the compliments. That's right. Sejun also nodded quietly with a proud smile at all the compliments for Kyungi. And then, it's amazing, right? Our Kyungi is seriously good at coffee. I bet if Kyungi entered a barista competition, he'd win first place right away. He soon couldn't resist bragging about him. At that moment, Hyung, what variety of coffee is this? It tastes really different from what I've had before. Seedal asked about the coffee variety. Sejun 94 Chickasan Black Tower. Black Tower, don't tell me this was harvested in the tower. Yup. Then it must be an item too, right? What effect does it have? Since Sejun was the only hunter there, Seedal, who couldn't see item options, asked. When consumed, hunters get +5 magic power and double magic recovery speed. Normal people get enhanced immunity and increased focus for 3 hours. Seriously, Hyung, can I try selling this at a cafe? Seedal, who had long wanted to run a cafe, asked Sejun. You want to? Yeah. All right, I'll send you some starting next month. Sejun gladly accepted his brother's request. Thanks, Hyung. If you're grateful, don't get married until I do. No way. I'm definitely getting married before you, Sejun declared with burning determination as he stood up from his seat. As they kept chatting and eating nonstop, it was already 1 p.m. He had to stop by the mart to pick up the bulk order items, go to the department store to buy clothes, and attend Kyung Chul's 5 p.m. wedding. There wasn't much time left. Sejun, take some food with you, Kim Miran called out to Sejun. Okay. Sejun followed Kim Miran obediently. Mom, where are we going? Instead of heading to the kitchen, Kim Miran stepped outside and led him to the basement. When they arrived at the basement, Mom, what is all this? Sejun was stunned by the sight of a massive freezer room that spanned over 3,300 square meters. Clank. This is what I've been prepping little by little since you left, Kim Miran said as she opened the freezer door. Inside, food was neatly stacked up to the ceiling. Doenjang stew Sejun likes. Every dish had a handwritten note filled with care. As expected, Mom is the best. Sejun was deeply moved by Kim Miran. Hey, Mom, I'll enjoy it. Guys, let's load it up. Sejun expressed his gratitude to Kim Miran and opened his void storage, diligently loading in the food. At that moment, a quest has occurred. Quest, Heath, the slayer of the infamous Kamal pirate crew, has opened a dimensional gate and invaded Earth. Defeat Heath and protect the piece of Earth. Reward piece of Earth, all stats plus 30, 3 billion tower coins. A message appeared before Sejun. A pirate has invaded Earth. As Sejun was bewildered with the appearance of powerful enemies, Earth has begun to collapse, unable to withstand the pressure. If the collapse continues for more than 5 minutes, the destruction of Earth will be irreversible. To prevent the collapse of Earth, would you like to pay the enemy's stay fee with your own money, Sejun Nim? System 371 proposed a method to prevent the collapse of Earth. I'll pay. Of course, with no other options, Sejun had no choice but to even pay the enemy's stay fee. They're stealing my money, I won't let this slide. As Sejun fumed, having paid the stay fee in place of the invaders. Rumble. P.O. Where are we? You have no idea. Moiha, I can sense Sejun Nim's misfortune. As the sky opened, Piat, Urin, and Poyo appeared alongside massive ships.